Well, go New York, go New York, go. Another resounding win by the New York Knicks. They have just been on one as of late. Really, since game 3 of their first round series against the Atlanta Hawks. That is the last game that they lost, actually. They lost back-to-back games in games 2 and 3 of that series, their opener against Atlanta, each game by 1 point only. Then they absolutely obliterated the Hawks in the next 3. Ran the Philadelphia 76ers off of the floor, came out after a long layoff in game 1 of this series against the Cavs, looked to show some signs of rust in that game 1. Obviously, they were down big in the fourth quarter, but they went on that mammoth run in the last 7 minutes of regulation, stemming over into overtime, a 44-11 run, all told, to still win that game by 11 points. So they've won every game basically by like double digits since they went down 2-1 in the first round against Atlanta. And now they just blow the Cavaliers off the floor again tonight. Look, this was a close game throughout the first quarter, back and forth, both teams kind of trading leads. And the Knicks just came out and put it away swiftly in the third quarter. They had that 18-1 run, of course, in last game in game 1 throughout the course of the fourth. Tonight, they used the strength of a 23-5 run throughout that third quarter to just seize control, and they never really looked back. The Cavs played around a little bit in the fourth. They got it under 10 once, actually. It was going back and forth between like 7 to 12 through much of the fourth, but ultimately too little for the Cleveland Cavaliers, too much for the New York Knicks. And the Knicks, guys, I'm starting to get that feeling. I'm starting to get that love and feeling about the New York Knicks. Look, it's just the presumptive outcome now of that Western Conference Finals that is the NBA championship round, that whoever comes out of the West is just going to dust whoever comes out of the East, whether it be Oklahoma City or San Antonio. But look, not so fast. The Knicks are on a historic run. Coming into this series, they had set the all-time NBA record in net differential in any 10-game span in NBA history, 194 points. They outscored their opponents in their first 10 games of the postseason. They won, again, last game by 11, and now tonight, another commanding win, 109-93. The Knicks just seem to be on fire right now. They're playing elite defense, held the Cavs to 93 tonight, and there's a lot of elite contributors up and down this lineup for the New York Knicks. Obviously, Jalen Brunson is the head of the snake. He's the guy that gets all of the pub, all of the press. And, rightfully so. He is their main scorer, their main facilitator. He had a quiet night tonight, only 19 points on 7 of 16 shooting, but 14 assists tonight. And look, we talked about this on the show the other day, how sneaky good Karl Anthony Towns has been, because going into last game for the Knicks and Cavs, going into game 1, so through the first 2 rounds of these NBA playoffs, Karl Anthony Towns was actually leading the NBA playoffs in PER, BPM, value over replacement, and win share. So that's like a Nikola Jokic type regular season run that Cat is putting on display in the playoffs. So this is an elite 1-2 punch. Elite. I mean, arguably, it might be the best 1-2 punch going right now in the NBA if you factor in what these guys have done in these playoffs now. And then look, OG Anunoby, very rusty last game. He was his best self. He was one of the best players in the NBA himself in the postseason prior to picking up that hamstring strain, which cost him a couple weeks now. But he was scoring 21 points per game on 77% true shooting percentage when he got hurt. Again, shook off the rust in the late stages of the fourth quarter and overtime last game. He was pretty good tonight, 14 points, 5 of 8 shooting. And then look, I didn't even mention the hero of the game tonight, Josh Hart, who was just on fire, unconscious in that third quarter. He ends the game with 26 points on 10 of 21, 5 of 11 from the three-point line. And look, every starter for these Knicks, plus 18 or better on the plus-minus scale. My one bit of concern for them moving forward in a potential matchup against either the Thunder or the Spurs would be their bench, which doesn't look all that good. It wasn't all that good tonight. They basically played to a stalemate for the Knicks when the starters were off. All of them right around -1 to -5 overall. They only got 13 points in all off the bench. So that's my one bit of concern is depth. But this team right now is on an absolute roll. They have several contributors who are playing at like career best levels, and they are playing, like I said, elite defense, holding the Cavaliers to just 93 points tonight. And then there are those Cleveland Cavaliers, speaking of them, who find themselves now in an 0-2 hole in this series. And look, they are going back home to Cleveland, where they have been excellent all postseason, but it just looks like this team doesn't have enough answers for this New York Knicks squad, a Knicks squad that looks like a team of destiny on the cusp of going to the NBA Finals now for just the first time this century. They haven't been there since 1999, so 27 years. And of course, they haven't won since, I don't know, it's like 52 or 53 years now since they've won an NBA championship. But the Cleveland Cavaliers, just not enough. Donovan Mitchell was okay tonight, 26 points on 8 of 18 shooting. Not great, not terrible for him tonight. A -8, which actually isn't that bad for this team tonight. Of course, there was little game James Harden. And, credit to Jimbo. I want to start here with Jim by giving him some credit tonight, I think he deserves it because he did not have more turnovers than field goals made tonight. So he's got that going for him, which is nice because it seems like he does that seemingly every game right now in the last, I don't know, like 4 or 5 games. It seems like he's had more turnovers than field goals. Tonight, not the case. He actually, shockingly, has no turnovers at all. And in fact, the team as a whole, the Cavaliers, only 8 turnovers. So very, very clean with the rock tonight. Unfortunately, they shot only 39% from the field and 26% from the three-point line. So not good there. Oh, and you know what else is not good? Missing 10 free throws as well for them tonight, 22 of 32. And little game James, while he did not have a turnover, as I just mentioned, 18 points, on 6 of 15. So not good from the field. And a game high, or I guess I should say a game worst or a game low, -22. So Jimbo had the worst plus-minus on the court tonight for either team. So Harden just showing how how he's the LVP, I think, for this Cavaliers team. Is the least valuable player. Little game James out in full effect. As we know, this guy has made just a career of putting his face on the sides of milk cartons in May. Complete vanishing act whenever his team needs him. And it is no different now in this postseason. I don't know why anybody would think that it would be. I mean, every year this guy looks elite in the regular season. Every year he looks like he's still playing all-star or maybe even all-NBA caliber now that he's like, I don't know, 37 years old. And every year it's the same as it always was when he was in his prime. Crapping his pants, poo-poo streaming down his leg in the postseason. I just don't know what it is. This guy needs to invest into some kind of sports psychologist or something. I don't even know. Get hypnotized, forget who you are beginning in the end of April, moving forward. I don't know what the answer is. But little game James, again, out in full force tonight as the New York Knicks storm ahead in this series, 2-0. And look, I don't know if this is going to be a sweep. The Cavs are very good at home. They might get 1 game for pride at home. Certainly don't see them evening the series there because as good as the Knicks have been, this series is over. I don't care how many games the Cavs get at this point. It's a foregone conclusion. They might as well just lay down at home and stay home and not put themselves through the turmoil of another travel day to New York. Just get in touch with your your travel agents or whatever. Get your itinerary ready for the offseason. Galveston, Cancun, wherever you want to head out to. Just set your flights from Cleveland after game 4 because the Knicks ain't losing 4 games out of 5. with the way they're playing right now just isn't going to happen, barring some unforeseen injury stuff. Which, speaking of which, unfortunately, guys, I wasn't on last night. As you know, I've had a very crazy travel day myself, back-to-back days, actually. I flew to New York yesterday, Gotham City, for a little House of Highlights collaboration. Again, if you didn't see the Kobe fan versus 10 Kobe haters app on House of Highlights, fan v haters, go find it after we get off tonight. Obviously, listen to the show first. But I was in Gotham yesterday, flew and had some travel issues. And then great day in the city though, and a great shoot today. It was another spirited debate, which I think is going to turn out wonderfully. I'll keep you guys posted, obviously, whenever that one comes out, and I will hype it up for sure. But great shoot. And then I had a crazy travel day back. My flight got delayed like multiple times. It ended up being a 2-hour delay and all. So I was watching the game on the plane and on my drive back. So, I just basically got in to discuss tonight's game, but I was not on last night. My first missed Skap Live opportunity in weeks, it seems like, at least in this round, of course. I think I might have taken one night off otherwise. But so I did not get an opportunity to unpack that game from last night, which we can talk about that as well if you guys want. It was not a surprising outcome, I don't think, with the Oklahoma City Thunder essentially with their backs totally and utterly against the wall. It was a must win. Like you're not winning. I don't care how good you are, how deep you are, how good the defense is, blah, blah, blah. If you go down 0-2 at home, you ain't winning 4 out of 5 with 3 of them coming on the road. I just did not believe that. So an undeniable must win game for the Oklahoma City Thunder last night. They did win it. I would not be concerned about the Spurs series long outlook, except they got some injury issues, and they're not the Thunder. They don't go 1 through 10. They don't have 4 starters that they can easily plug and play off of the bench. Because in that game for the Thunder, speaking of injuries, J-Dub also went out early with another re-aggravation of his hamstring. He did not return. He is called day to day, but look, he's missed 50 games this year, I think, 50. And he's missed a slew of playoff games with both hamstrings, because he missed the 50 in the regular season with the one hamstring. Then he hurt the other hamstring, which cost him about a month in the postseason. Who knows which hamstring it is right now? It doesn't really matter because they're both ailing. So I would be shocked if he comes back in this series, but that might actually be a good thing for the Thunder, because AJ Mitchell was balling out of his mind before they brought Williams back. So really not a humongous loss for the Thunder, certainly not as much as the losses of De'Aaron Fox and potentially Dylan Harper could be for the San Antonio Spurs. Because I've been on record as saying, I think, in my opinion, the San Antonio Spurs, 1 through 6, the superior team to the Oklahoma City Thunder, but not 1 through 10. And part of the 1 through 6 that I reference for the San Antonio Spurs would be Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox. And De'Aaron Fox hasn't played yet this series. He has, from what I understand, they're not officially announcing it as such, but something that is kind of maybe almost a high ankle sprain. So that is generally a 4 to 6 week injury. I don't want to speculate that is what it is. He is questionable officially for game 3 in San Antonio as the series shifts back. And Dylan Harper is also questionable now for game 3, but he hurt his hamstring in game 2, and he only played like 20 minutes, and he never came back. So that sounds really bad, quite frankly, because these hamstrings, even if they're day-to-day, quote unquote, which is, I believe, officially what they're saying about Harper's, generally speaking, it's still 2 to 4 weeks. Like any grade or any level of hamstring is going to be 2 to 4 weeks. Like OG Anunoby was day-to-day, and it was 3 weeks that he sat out. Now, some of that was because they had command of the series, and then they had a week off between series. But look, no matter how mild of a hamstring strain this might be for Dylan Harper, it still will be like at least a week, in my opinion, until he's realistically ready or 100%. He might try to gut through it and then hurt it more. But if it's a week, even just a week, that's basically the series is over then, or at least the Thunder take a commanding advantage of the series. So I am extraordinarily concerned about my flip-flop pick now of the San Antonio Spurs in this series, not because I have any doubt or my confidence is wavered in the Spurs. It's injury issues alone. So an asterisk in my, if I get this one wrong on my flip-flop, because look, De'Aaron Fox is pivotal to this team, and Dylan Harper has been absolutely fantastic. In his first playoff start of his career in game 1, spelling De'Aaron Fox, 24 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 7 steals. 24, 11, 6, and 7 for like a 20 or 21-year-old rookie. And he had an 89 net defensive rating in that game. So the Spurs gave up 89 per 100 possessions when he was on the floor, the best in the game for either team, including Victor Wembanyama. That's how good Dylan Harper is. That's how important he is. So if he is not able to play and De'Aaron Fox is not able to play, or they're both severely limited or hampered with injuries the remainder of the series, well, I fear that is just the advantage that the lucky ass Oklahoma City Thunder need. Got that game 7 win last year against the Nuggets after Aaron Gordon got that grade 2 hamstring strain in game 6. And now the injuries, unfortunate, untimely injuries to the San Antonio Spurs. So the Thunder go and win that one last night. Not surprising and really not troubling at all to the Spurs. More so is certainly those injuries that they suffered in the process of losing that game. Of course, we did have Victor Wembanyama, just a mediocre game for him on the back of that historic jaw-dropping performance in game 1. Just 21 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 blocks. That's a mediocre game. Victor Wembanyama at 22 is already entering Nikola Jokic status, where we say a 21 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 block game is mediocre for him. Just a +1, though, for him on the night. And then, of course, the league MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, strikes back in game 2, 30 points, 12 of 24 shooting, a +14 for him. Not a game best, not a team best. It was Alex Caruso +18 off the bench, who he has just been massive in this series. He had the massive 31-point game in game 1, which was not enough to get his Thunder the win, and 17 points last night, 5 of 7 shooting, 3 of 4 from the 3-point line, and 5 assists. And again, a team best +18. The Thunder just so deep, so stacked. So now we just wait and hold our breaths collectively and see what the injury report. Look, these guys are questionable, Fox and Harper. They'll be questionable going in likely tomorrow night, maybe game time decisions. So we'll see. You want them to play, but you don't want them to play if it's going to have an opportunity or a potential to worsen those injuries, and then they're out for the whole series. But look, you're in a 1-1 series at this point. You're at home. You got to win that game. Ultimately, I feel like the Spurs have to get both of these games if they're going to win the series. I thought when I switched my pick that they would get both of these games. Now, Harper or Fox storm back and rip back home court. Well, I think advantage Oklahoma City Thunder. So we can talk about, obviously we can talk about either one of these games that you guys want to talk about tonight, or anything else you might want to talk about. We can get into some comments and see what direction you guys want to go. First, we're about 20 minutes in here. So let me go ahead and say hello, welcome to moderator Gary. Thank you for being here, sir. Say something to the people.
My stream paused a couple times. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay, yes.
Am I live? Okay, good deal. Yeah, I'm
Can
just
someone let me know in the live chat if was that Gary pausing or is it me? Have I been okay, guys? Let me know. I'm in the live chat right now, actually. So just give me like a yes or a no, a couple of you guys. Skap was lagging. Okay. I paused a few times. Okay, not good. I am having some extreme internet issues here at this place for some reason. Hopefully.
okay.
Let me just, I guess, go to my hotspot. I don't know how long my hotspot might last, but yes, this is a big issue, obviously. These technical internet issues that I've been having. Let me try to see if I could hit my hotspot. Do I look okay for right now, Gary? Can I get a thumbs up on that? Okay. Well, we'll see. Get a new router. I have good. What I need to do. Look, I have terrible. I am like the worst in terms of technical abilities. Like I am. I'm born in the 80s, but I might as well have been born in the 1950s because I don't understand technology at all. I am right by the router. I have the good internet, but it just goes out from time to time, I guess. I have a hard wire going from the router. I just don't know how to switch it on my computers. It's something I need to obviously figure out and get to. But guys, I am sorry for the technical difficulties. Anyway, Gary, welcome into you. How bad, Gary, was my lagging and pausing?
It wasn't a big deal. I just felt like if it was from my end and you were trying to speak to me or I was trying to speak, that it would be on delay. But that's not an issue if it was actually from yours. It was only going out for like 2, maybe 3 seconds at a time. Then it was coming right back. So it really wasn't a huge deal. Even if that happens every few minutes, it's not really a big deal. But we just, hopefully want to make sure that it doesn't. I want to make sure my internet doesn't go out again like it did last week.
Yes, I will figure out how to get hardwired before tomorrow night. Hopefully, I have a very busy day shaping up for me tomorrow, but I'll figure out. I'll try to figure out how to get hardwired before we go on tomorrow, Gary. But thank you, Gary, for being here. Thank all of you guys for being here. So sorry I missed last night. I really do love talking shit about basketball with you guys after these games. So I was sad, but I needed to get my rest. I was on like 2.5 hours sleep yesterday, going through my travel issues and all that stuff. What happened to Skap's voice? Well, I've been talking a lot, guys. I've been on these. Sorry, I'm looking at the live streams. What happened to Skap's voice? Like I said, I've been on these live streams with you guys for like 3 or 4 hours a day, basically every day throughout these playoffs. And today I was talking for like 2+ hours in New York on my House of Highlights collaboration. It was a LeBron James centric debate. That's all I will say. So it was quite zesty. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to come out, but I will, of course, keep you guys updated and apprised of that. But
not allowed to disclose the topic.
What's that?
Not allowed to disclose the topic yet.
I don't know. I signed some papers. I don't know exactly what I signed or whatever I'm allowed to say or what not.
Okay, well, they don't say anything. You don't want a lawsuit.
I'm not sure exactly when it comes out. Probably like a month or two. It was LeBron and Jordan centric. So I mean that's fine. We could say that. This is the shirt I wore on it today. Anywho, yes, so my voice, yes, it is scratchy. It is going in and out, obviously. Actually, hang on one second. Speaking of which, I'm going to do Whitlock. As you guys know, I'm on Jason Whitlock pretty much daily. So they're just making certain that I am available tomorrow. So they just messaged me. I just want to get back to them real quick. Also, I will be doing some phone spot with ESPN Las Vegas tomorrow as well. So a busy day. I'll probably try to get a video or two out tomorrow. So the voice, look, no rest for the vocal cords. I'm just going to have to get some throat coat tea and just go from there with it. But I did, like I said, wanted to get on for at least a bit tonight, guys. I don't know if I'll be on for like 3 hours tonight, but I've got at least a quick 90 in me, or maybe 2 hours. But yeah, speaking of sleep, because I need some tonight too. I needed it last night. I had 2.5 hours of sleep the whole day, and then I had to be up early for my call time to set with House of Highlights near Central Park. So I went to bed immediately following the game last night, the Spurs Thunder game. So I did not have a live stream in me last night, but I wanted to get on tonight and chat with you guys about this game, about last game, about whatever it is you guys want to talk about. And speaking of which, we are, nearing the 30-minute mark here of Skap Live After Dark. And that is typically around the time frame that I like to check in on comments and see what you guys have to say, see what direction you guys want to take it. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Gary, unless there was anything else you wanted to say before we get started.
I'm just hyped up for tomorrow night's game, Friday and Sunday's game.
That reminds me, Gary. Hang on. That reminds me for tomorrow night's game. I've been wanting to see, I didn't check, are the Thunder going to be underdogs for the first time in like 2 years in the postseason? They are. Spurs minus 1.5. San Antonio is favored. It's a slim line, and I would not touch that. I think a bit of that slimness of that line, Gary, is the fact that De'Aaron Fox and Harper are completely up in the air. Neither might play. If neither play, I think they're going to lose that game unless Wembanyama goes, 50, 27, like some ridiculous historic line. I think that they will lose that game. So, but even with the uncertainty of two pivotal pieces, the Spurs are still favored for the first time against the Thunder in 2 years now in the postseason. So I knew that I thought that it would happen. I was unsure because of the injury situation, but now I think if Fox and Harper were not hurt and they were just playing with no designation, I think the Spurs would be favored by like 4.5. Because look, they were in that game. Like that was like a close game in the third quarter still last night, even with all the injuries, even that it was a must-win game for Oklahoma City. Like, even though Wemby wasn't going berserk, like that was still, they were tied at one point in the third. So like, I thought the Thunder, honestly, I'd be feeling good about the Spurs if it wasn't for the injury. So we'll see that's something to monitor through the day. Obviously, we'll be on tomorrow night after the game, and we'll unpack it all either way. But let's get into DGang 1498. Oh, go ahead, Gary. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just letting you know I'm ready to read the super chats.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you, DGang, for leading us off here on the comment thread tonight. Appreciate you and your continued support. Go ahead, Gary, with the comment or question.
The Spurs play with integrity. Too many missed calls on Holdenstein have a huge impact, and SGA's flopping keeps him far from Kobe Jordan territory.
Yo, I'm going to say this about SGA real quick. And first of all, the Thunder always foul DGing. That should not be a surprise to anybody. They foul, they hold, they do it all game long, all season long, all series long. They get away with a bunch of them because, quite frankly, the officials can't call them for a foul every single play. That's their mentality. Honestly, that's how the Thunder, that's their defensive philosophy. Let's foul the shit out of the other team all game long because, damn it, the officials can't foul every single player out. That's their defense. Like, they probably break huddles with 1, 2, 3 foul. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that they not only foul all game long, but that they get away with it as well. But let me say this about Shai, because look, I've been painted as a Shai critic, which again, I don't think that I am, but whatever. I'll wear it if that's what you want to think. I think I'm actually light on Shai, and I think I defend him more than not with his flopping, foul baiting, and grifting to get to the free throw line. But last night was insufferable. It really was. It's hard to watch. This dude took 24 shot attempts. I legit think he hit the ground after every single freaking one. Like, I'm not even kidding. As I was watching the game, it was sticking out to me. And it's not like he was getting all the calls, but he was trying his best. to get every call. And it was sticking out to me while I was watching the game. But today, while I was at the airport, LaGuardia, by the way, terrific airport. I did JFK last time that I went in. I would not recommend JFK. LaGuardia, awesome airport. Even with the 2-hour delay, terrific experience at LaGuardia. Anyway, while I was at the airport today, I was looking through my X feed, and people put compilations of SGA. He damn near hit the ground after every shot attempt last night. Like, he was taking pretty clean jump shots where people were like standing straight up and down, and he was just still flying backwards after his shot attempts. Like, it honestly, it is disgusting. Like, it's gotten to a point there needs to be some corrective action taken by the NBA in the offseason. There has to be. Like, we've got to put an end to this. Where like every offensive play, guys are trying to make it look like they get fouled, or essentially trying to get to the free throw line, even above and beyond making a shot. And last night, it really was pronounced by SGA. So, look, the free throws, I don't think he doesn't shoot an outrageous amount of free throws, I don't think. Like, he didn't even lead the league in free throws this year. But his tactics are overboard now at this point. They really are. And it's just distasteful. When you have as good of a mid-range game as this dude has, he's got one of the best mid-range games I've ever seen. Like, his mid-range game, with, again, the scarcity of the mid-range today in the NBA, it is one of the best mid-range games I've seen. Like, and that, of course, was where Jordan and Kobe, really did the bulk of their work, from that elbow area and then in the extended baseline areas. And Shai is smooth in that area. He is elite in that area. But as technically sound as he is, and as good as his offensive game is, he completely undermines himself with this pathetic and distasteful flopping and flailing and grifting. It is disgusting. And I think, unfortunately, he doesn't have the character to just not do it, which is fine, because he's trying to get to the line, trying to get points, trying to get an advantage for his team, trying to win games, whatever. Fine. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. But the NBA has to step in the summer and say, look, this shit, enough is enough. Like, this is an eyesore. We're moving in a good direction at this point. We got teams defending now. We got high character players, by and large, leading these teams now. It's time to say, we got to stop the foolishness, the tomfoolery, the shenanigans on this free throw grifting crap. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is one of the league's elite, one of the faces of the NBA, like, we've hit a point where the NBA now has to intervene and say enough. And hopefully that happens this summer, because I've had enough. And I think the casual and average observer of these games and of this sport has had enough. So, damn it, Commissioner Adam Silver, can you hear me? I know with those goddamn ears you can. Those ears are as big as satellite dishes. So I know you can hear me. Get it done this summer. All right, let's move next into the incorruptible. Welcome in to you, sir. Thank you very much for your continued support and generosity. And shout out to my beautiful wife, who was listening, obviously, to the live stream. And she has prepared me with a delightful throat coat tea here, guys. Check this out. This is how good I have it from my beautiful, loving wife. Thank you. Gary, go ahead with the Incorruptibles question or comment.
No-show Jimbo Larden currently featured on postseason milk cartons.
No-show Jimbo Larden. Incredible. I'm serious. This freaking guy, alleged Hall of Famer, alleged all-time great, alleged top 3 guard. Every year, I swear to God, every year I hear this guy in conversations in the regular season, better than Dwayne Wade, better than Jerry West. This guy's a top 3 guard. Like, it's Jordan, Kobe, and then Jim Harden. I hear this shit every freaking year. And every year, Larden shows up little in the postseason and is on missing person posters and milk cartons come May and June. I almost said June. I almost misspoke and said June. We know damn well this guy's not playing in June. He hasn't sniffed the 6th month of the year in like 15 or 16 years now. So in May is when he really starts his disappearing acts. All right,
and he gets double dunked on, because it's one thing if you perform well in the playoffs and still lose, to the point we were talking about before with Karl Malone, for example. At least Karl Malone played well in the playoffs. He just never found a way to get it done. Same with Reggie Miller and Charles Barkley. But with James Harden, not only does he never find a way to win, his stats suck in the playoffs as well. He's like always shooting under 50% and usually shooting more in like the 30%, at least the last few games. They would not have made it past Detroit if they had to rely on Harden. Thank goodness for Donovan Mitchell and just the defensive team, the Evan Mobley and who's the other guy they have that's they traded Garland. Who's that other guy that the name is slipping me? Evan Mobley.
Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell. Cavs fans can thank those guys for advancing past Detroit. No thanks to James Harden. He is worthless at this point in Gary,
play.
It's interesting. I was talking today a lot about LeBron's failures in the postseason and stuff, and Michael Jordan, the comparisons and stuff. And I brought up a lot of guys who basically don't have championships because of Michael Jordan. And they were saying a lot of the discourse today was, oh, look at all the all-time greats that LeBron went against and Jordan went against nobody. But see, look, this is the problem. Jordan stopped so many guys from legacy building for themselves by getting championships because he beat them. Like Steph Curry, if he has 0 rings, isn't a top 10 to 13 player. He's like whatever, top 25 maybe or 30. But he's got the rings because he ate on Jordan's watch or on LeBron's watch. Like nobody ate. People were all-time greats were anorexic on Michael Jordan's watch. They're obese today on LeBron's watch. Like you got Kobe getting rings in LeBron's era. You got Duncan getting rings in LeBron's era. You got Jokic getting a ring in LeBron's era. You got Steph Curry beating LeBron 3 times in the finals. So I think about guys like Karl Malone, who 25-10 career for 19 years, 3rd all-time leading scorer in NBA history. He had a stretch of 3 years where he was MVP, runner-up to Jordan, then MVP again. Like if that dude had 2 or 3 rings, he'd be top 10 or top 12. But instead, he's like top 30 or top 25 to 30 because he just didn't get the rings. Same with Charles Barkley. That dude was elite. Charles Barkley was elite, and he was an elite playoff performer. His finals performance in 93 against Jordan, as good as any finals appearance that you will see in the last 30 years or so, but he just couldn't outdo Jordan. Now, LeBron has dudes winning left and right on him in this era. So I think that's the reason why. Like to your point, I mean, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, like Hakeem Olajuwon even, just didn't have the supporting cast by and large throughout his career. And then we've seen other guys like Dirk Nowitzki, who just didn't have like a great collection of supporting cast players. And then now Nikola Jokic. So there's reasons and then there are excuses for why you fail. Like James Harden has had good teams around him. He's basically handpicked his team, same as LeBron. Like if you aren't comfortable with the situation you're in, LeBron or James Harden, look in the mirror. Like you have picked every team you went to and you've jumped all over the NBA and he still fails time and time and time again.
He is the system though.
He is. It's the Harden system, Gary. He let us know.
If anybody could ever say, I am a system, it would be Wembanyama. And notice he doesn't even say that. You don't hear him saying, I am the system, like Harden did.
Right. All right, let's go with Darth Cairns, Dylan Brooks, Aura next.
I always wondered, where did Skap get the way he says ass from? It always, always makes me chuckle.
Darth Cairns, that is something that's called jungle Tourette's. Now, if you don't know what that means, or people are watching right now and they don't know what it means, let me just tell you that Jim Rome, who is a legend in the broadcasting world. And one of my three heroes in life, the three heroes that I have in life, dating back to like 8 or 9 years old, basically, or however old I can remember, or was of reasonable age to be able to remember icons or heroes or whatever of mine. Tom Cruise, Kobe Bryant, Jim Rome. And I've been listening to Jim Rome. He had a show back in the mid-90s when I was like 8 or 9 years old called Rome is Burning. He also has been a nationally syndicated talk show sports radio host for, I don't know, he's like 63, I think, right now. So, and he's been on broadcasting since he was in college. So, I mean, he's been on air for like 40 years. And he calls his show The Jungle. And his clones is what the fans or whatever are called of, or his avid followers. I would be a clone, consider myself a clone. They typically, one of the side effects of being a clone is they get jungle Tourette's, which is they repeat and use different drops and famous drops from the show over and over again. Anyway, Rome actually, it's not a drop. Rome says ass, pretty funny. And it's kind of I have kind of just some of the deliveries and mannerisms and whatever that I utilize, not just when I'm on air with you guys, just in general in life. I are just have seepage from listening to Rome for so many years, and emulating him when I was a very young kid. So the is kind of from Jim Rome in some way. So that Darth Cairns, hopefully you are familiar with Jim. If not, you should watch or seek him out because he is an absolute legend and an icon. And to me, he's the best of all time. We've got Will N8664 is up next. Go ahead, Gary. I'll turn this one over for you.
Gonna laugh if Knicks fans take over Cleveland.
You know, it's not that far. Northeast, Cleveland's looking not so stellar moving forward in this series. If tickets become available, if the season ticket holders decide they want to put those up on the market, I think New York fans would absolutely make that trip. So that would be something that doesn't shock me if it happens, obviously. And I think that the Knicks get one in Cleveland at least. This is smelling more and more like a sweep to me. I think we'll know next game, because if the Cavs are going to get one, it will be that next one. And then I think the Knicks will, in a very hard fought game, they'll get the 3-1 lead in game 4. If the Cavs lose next game to go down 3-0, it's a wrap. It is a wrap. The Knicks will be riding their brooms into the arena for game 4, and they will put down. The Cavs might lose that game by like 30 or 40 points. They will be 1-2-3 Cancun. So we'll see. We'll see next game. We'll see what kind of life and fight that the Cavaliers show coming out in game 3, because I think that will be the series for all intents and purposes. Certainly it will determine whether it will be a very, very short series, or if the Cavs are even going to get one, will be next game. All right, the incorruptible back in, still taking swings at Jimbo. Go ahead, Gary.
I think Cavs are going to get in a very close game, game 3.
Okay.
That's
so you like the Knicks in what, 5? Or 6?
Yeah, probably. I would love for the Cavs to win the next 2 at home, just because I'm hoping for a really intense, great series, which it doesn't look like we're going to get. I would obviously prefer for the Knicks to win the series, but I want to see an entertaining series. Like, these games are duds. Like, I hardly even paid attention to the game tonight. It was so lackluster to me. The first one was very good. And if the Cavs can build a lead like that on the road, then I would think that they're at least going to win one of these home games. I hope, for the sake of entertainment. Anyways, Incorruptible is back. He says, Jimbo Heimlich upgraded to Life Alert Larden, one brick from assisted living.
Jimbo Heimlich. I like that, Incorruptible. Yeah, Life Alert Larden. That would be that maybe he should get that. Like get like a help I've choked and I can't get up or something. Could be something that Little Game can look forward to maybe endorsing or creating moving forward. Hell, he could create a company for this. And he could work on maybe sponsoring it over the next few games as he craps in his pants one more, at least he's got one more epic gag coming up in the next few games. Mark my words. There's going to be, I mean, tonight, look, it wasn't great. 18 points on I think it was 6 of 15 and a game worst minus 22. Not great by any stretch, but better than he's been lately. So he's going to have at least one more terrible ass performance coming the rest of the way. Mark my words. All right, we've got Will N8664. Go ahead next with this one.
No joke, Prize Picks had Harden as an orange cone.
Now, look, I did not see that in the prop. Like, I use Prize Picks. They are a proud sponsor, by the way, of Skap Attack. But I did not see that. So I look at their props most nights. And I did not see that specific one. Actually, I'll be honest, I'll make an admission. I've been riding Larden a lot on those Prize Picks props because it's great. Like, they've got his more or less line at like 13 points pretty much every game, which until recently I stopped doing it because early in the playoffs, he was going more than that every game. So like I kept hitting it. But then as we get further into the playoffs, as we get closer and closer to June, Harden becomes smaller and smaller and fades more and more and more. So now you got to pull off that. So yes, you need to look for the negative Harden props moving forward on whatever your application may be of choice, of course. Like
I think he's gonna have a big game though. I bet he's gonna have one high scoring game. So I hope that someone doesn't lose a bet. I'm willing to bet he's got to have one high scoring game in a series, just of his talent alone. And there are two games in Cleveland.
Let's see what James. Let's see what Little Game James. Let's see what it's looking like here. Let's see his I want to see his playoffs game log. Of course, tonight will not be on it, but we've already discussed his log tonight. I mean, in the early part of these playoffs, I mean, he was looking pretty good. Like 22 points, 22 points, 10 assists, 28 points, 4 assists, 18 points, 4 assists, 19 points, 8 assists, 23 points, 5 assists, 16 points, 9 assists, 18 points, 3 assists. And, he was shooting relatively high from the field during those games. He had a 22 and 7 game. Some of these games, though, 10 points on 3 of 13. And then last game, 9 points on 2 of 10. So, I mean, he still is by and large over 13. So if you see that number, don't. But if there's like a turnover prop on this guy on whatever application you guys are getting in on, that might be one you want to look into because he had 0 tonight. So chances are he is due for a high turnover game, some kind of negative turnover regression coming up. All right, we've got Xbox Game Pass. Get it is in next. Welcome into you, Xbox Game Pass. Thanks for being here. Welcome in to Skap Live After Dark, the sponsor area. I appreciate it. Gary, what's the question or comment?
Spider Skap, nice fit. Did you sling around New York?
Yeah, actually, I was a big Spider-Man fan growing up. I talked about my favorite superheroes on a show one of these nights, a few nights ago, actually. Spider-Man, when I was little, I identified with Spider-Man Peter Parker because he was a young kid and I was a young kid. As I aged, I really like Batman more, and Wolverine has been a mainstay for me. But anyway, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with Spider-Man. And actually, Peter Parker grew up in a place called Forest Hills in New York in the comic books. And I was born and raised in a place called Forest Hills, but in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But still, I always thought that was a neat little comparison or whatever, tie to my hero when I was little, Spidey. So unfortunately, my web slingers were not working Xbox Game Pass, so I was not slinging around, but I certainly was. I certainly was on the streets. I was in a really good area, honestly. Again, like Park Avenue area. And actually, I have a quick funny story about my trip to New York. So I was at a restaurant. I went to a restaurant. I was looking for a pizza joint, like a hole-in-the-wall pizza joint, to get a few slices, which is typically what I do when I go to the city, because I love pizza. And I love New York pizza, and just single slicers. I'll get like 3 or 4 single slicers or whatever. I was looking, but I was in too nice of an area. There was like no hole-in-the-wall pizza joints where I was at. I walked a couple directions and for a couple blocks, couldn't find anything. So eventually, near my hotel, I stopped in at a nice, posh, trendy little restaurant to dine alone. And I got seated across from this like jacked black guy. We made eye contact. He was a little bit older. We both nodded heads, gave each other the head nod. He was with his wife and 2 kids. And that was it. We ate our meals, finished about the same time. I got up to walk out, and he had paid his bill too. And he says to me, "Skap, LeBron all day." So he had recognized me, obviously, which is weird because I really don't get recognized practically ever. So I went up, shook his hand, and said, like, "Brother, awesome. Like, thank you so much. Like, no one ever, rather, you're like the 3rd person ever that has recognized me, like out on the street or whatever." And we were getting to talking. He knows I was from Pittsburgh. And he said, "You don't recognize me, I guess. Amos Zereoué." So he played. He was actually a very high level running back in college. He played for West Virginia University. And then he was drafted actually by the Steelers, played for the Steelers, I think, for 5 years. Famous Amos Zereoué recognized me. So we shot the shit for a while. Really good guy. And I got a picture with him too. So maybe I'll put it up somewhere on my community feed or whatever. But a cool story. It was a very good visit to Gotham. So I always enjoy my time when I visit there. We got DGang 1498 is up next. Welcome into you, DGang. Thank you again for your continued support, Gary. Go ahead with this one.
I hear you, Skap, but do their opponents make them look better than they are? Would you consider the 76ers or Cavs elite defensive teams?
Definitely not. But the 76ers and Cavs are pretty good offensive teams, and the Knicks defense stymied them in those 2 series. So I actually really like what the Knicks defense is doing right now. There's no doubt that the Eastern Conference is not as good top to bottom as the West. But look, it's not like the Thunder were playing world beaters until this round, right? Like, they played the Suns and then the Lakers. Like, I don't think of those guys as like elite NBA teams either. And like, the Thunder aren't doing what the Knicks are doing in these playoffs to this point. I'll take this one, Gary. Private Citizen MO is in next. What's up, my friend? Hey, I wanted to ask last night, where were you? Why isn't San Antonio playing Cornet with Wemby when Hartenstein and Holmgren are in the game? Well, Private Citizen, hopefully you were on earlier. You sent this at 11. It's 11:45. Hopefully you were on when I talked about where I was and why I wasn't on. And hopefully you're still on to hear me talk about this. Look, they don't like to go double bigs. Gary, maybe you could talk to this even more because you probably watched him more this year than me. Typically, like, Cornet he's a great, and they paid him a lot. Like, they paid him, I think they gave him $40 million in the offseason.
For over 4 years.
Yeah,
over 4 years.
Right. Yeah. Right. But still, I mean, he's more than a backup center in my estimation. And he is a very serviceable backup. He does great work when Wemby's on the bench. And when Wemby doesn't play, he does good work. But they don't really like to go double big, Gary. Am I right? They don't really play them at the same time.
I think it just would slow them down a good bit. Is why I'm thinking they don't. But maybe they will insert Cornet. Windhorse, I think it was Windhorse on ESPN said if they don't have Fox or Harper, they may be forced to just go big and try their luck with Cornette and Wemby, and maybe let Devin Vassell try to run the point. And Jordan McLaughlin was serviceable as like a fourth string backup or whatever he is. Stephon Castle is not a natural point guard.
Right.
But I mean, he can fill in. Vassell can fill in. Jordan McLaughlin, Lindy Waters, those guys can rotate. It's going to be a huge challenge against OKC's defense if Harper and Fox are both out. But if we have one of them, then we have a great shot.
Right. And if two, Gary, we talked about this like a week ago. Like when they have three initiators and igniters at offense, really, when they're right. They've got Castle, Harper, and Fox, plus Wemby then that you can ISO and like go and post. Like that's like four primary go-to like initiators. Like that's hard to match up with, quite frankly, for anybody, even the Oklahoma City Thunder. And if they lose two of those guys, like that's why like there's some criticisms of Castle with all the turnovers. Like when you have three real elite ball handlers and you go from 3-1 against this Thunder team, and he's 21, 22 years old, like 21. You're going to have these kind of struggles. I still think by and large, Castle is playing a great game, a great series so far, even with those turnovers. Yep. Okay, let's see here. I'll take some of these, Gare. Will N 866. Oh, you want this one back? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Hartenstein, welcome, Will N. Hartenstein got so butthurt when Castle posterized him that he yanked Castle's hair.
Yo, Castle was going for blood last night in a couple dunks. Like he wanted to end Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on one, and he just missed it. He got fouled, but he just missed it. But then he had another, like a few minutes later, had an absolute arguable dunk of the year type of candidate. That guy is explosive. He is just a fierce attacker of the basket. His athleticism and strength and power. I mean, he is an elite, special looking athlete. And yes, the hair pull. That was obviously on brand for the Oklahoma City Thunder. We've got the real Donald Trump, 1646, of course, coming in from Canada. Welcome in, Mr. President. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Gary, what does El Presidente have for us?
President Trump says, OKC refs are tough. Spurs are in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's not like this glaring free throw discrepancy thing going on necessarily. 17-24 last night. But it's not necessarily about the free throws they're getting on offense. It's about the calls that they're not getting against them on defense. That's the big thing. And as we know, they just, again, foul the shit out of their opponents all game, every play, all series, all regular season. So they look, unless there's a crackdown or unless they start just putting people in immediate foul trouble, given like their whole starting team, their whole starting five, like 2 fouls in the first quarter. Like, I don't know what incentive they have to stop doing it, quite frankly. So even with that said, though, Mr. President, I still wouldn't be worried about them if Harper and Fox are relatively unimpacted by injury and available. Like, I still would feel utterly confident in the Spurs' chances moving forward. All right, Private Citizen Mo is back in yet again. Gary, I'll take it real quick. Refs helped OKC win to further the NBA narrative. I honestly don't know. Like, look, I get the conspiracy theory stuff. Like, I get it. Especially I get it with, like, the Lakers. Or maybe even the Knicks, because you got two big market teams that the NBA, is drooling to have get into advanced stages of the playoffs. With that said, the Lakers never get into advanced stages of the playoffs, but the Lakers do lead the NBA in free throw discrepancy every single year. Like they've been first for like 4 of the last 5 years, and the 1 year they weren't first, they were second. And it's like they are 1,000 more than the next highest team. So when you're looking at all of the teams with the highest differential of free throws, the Lakers not only are number one, they're number one by the second biggest team with differential by 1,000 over the last 5 years. So there, I can smell the smoke to this conspiracy theory about the league offices and the officials and their intervention in trying to help the Lakers. But what is the incentive for them to help the Thunder along? They're a small, middling market, like the 48th biggest market in the United States of America. They are a disgusting brand of basketball, quite frankly. They are, by and large, go ahead, Gary.
SGA's legacy, they want to stain Kobe, elevate LeBron. If they can get SGA to win championships, that helps the narrative. Unfortunately,
this is why I'll push back on it for this instance. Wembanyama is clearly the guy at this point. He's clearly the face of the league. He is so compelling. He is so captivating. He has a great personality. He plays the right way. He plays, even though he's a big, he has a flashy and exciting, captivating style of play. Like the league, I think, should be championing him. So if anything, why not support him and get him built up over and give him the calls over Oklahoma City? So that's
I think they will. I think starting next year, he's going to have a significant star whistle. I think they know what I think that game, that game one, I think that we changed the course of the NBA. That was his like a rival moment. It doesn't even matter if they win or lose this series. Of course, if he wins, it'll be a little faster. Mm-hmm. But going into next season, I think Wemby's gonna be the guy.
Agreed. So that's why I'm struggling to understand right now but there is weird stuff with the Thunder. There's no doubt about it. They were second, I believe, in the NBA by like a percent, like a tenth of a point. They were second in steals behind the Pistons. And that's a huge game of the Pistons and the Thunder, is turning their opponent over, playing that smothering on-ball defense. And the Pistons were the number 2 net rated defense in the regular season. Spurs were 3, Thunder were 1. So the Pistons, with the second rated net defense, led the league in steals. They were number 1 in fouls. They fouled their opponent the most of any team in the NBA, or they were whistled for the most amount of fouls. The Thunder, who play that same brand, who rely on the turnovers, who force the same amount of turnovers, who were the number 1 net rated defense, they allowed the 24th most free throws, or they were called for the 24th most personal fouls in the NBA. So that is an alarming discrepancy. How is it that the Pistons, who play overt physicality in terms of their style of defense, just like the Thunder, had the most personal fouls in the regular season, and the Thunder had the 24th most? It's craziness. And then conversely, on the other side, you breathe on SGA and he gets free throws. So that is the frustration of playing this Oklahoma City Thunder team. And I get it. So even if they're not trying to help the Thunder, that's what's happening. And it is very frustrating to play them. I absolutely get that. Gary, did you want to add something there?
I would imagine the league is going to get a Spurs a lot of calls in games 3 and 4, because think about Wemby at the Garden for the finals. That is as high marketable as you're going to get. The Knicks are finally back in the finals for the first time this century against this rising icon who's already having GOAT consideration if he plays out his career healthy. Mm-hmm. It doesn't get any better than that.
Right. And let me sprinkle this in too for you, Gary. I think the Knicks, it's a better matchup for the Knicks for the Spurs. So that could be a longer series. So more captivating, lengthier series versus the Thunder might just beat them in 4 or 5. And it's a subpar, stinky series. So another motivation for the league offices to root for Spurs Knicks, Gary. And then we'll be celebrating like it's 1999. Because it's a rematch of 1999. Not only will it be the Knicks' first time in the NBA Finals since 99, but they played the Spurs that last time. So that's a funny little kind of connection as well.
And they played them without Patrick Ewing. So going into that series, I was like, this is easy. There's no Patrick Ewing because he got injured. The Knicks overachieved.
Mm-hmm.
So they beat the Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
That was an example of when the Pacers actually choked, because there's no way they should have lost to a Patrick Ewing-less Knicks team, which I'll be honest, if the Pacers have made it to the finals, I don't know who wins that series. But I think that Spurs probably would edge them out, but it would have been a lot more intense. But here's what I'm saying. Even though I'm a big Spurs fan, if it's Spurs-Knicks in the finals, it's a win-win even for me, because I'm celebrating that my Spurs even made the finals this quickly, because I was saying I think they'll win a championship in 28. To get there in 26 would be a major accomplishment. It would just be great to see the New York Knicks, for one of the biggest markets in the nation, finally come out of a 53-year drought and get a championship. The only downside of that is there's so many trash-talking New York fans.
True.
As you know, ask the Yankees fan base. But it would be great to see, in either way, it's a win-win for the NBA.
Agreed. And as much as insufferable as the Knicks fan base can be, there's at least Cusmo Jimbo that we're a big friend of. So we could at least feel good for him. All right. Next in, we've got the Incorruptible back in again. Thank you for your continued generosity and kindness and your support. I really do appreciate you, my friend. Gary, what's the question or comment on this one?
OKC deserves recoverable injuries with how dirty and intentionally harmful they play, especially Harmenstein. OKC is arrogant and full of snowflake behavior. This is why they are insufferable. Skap, to your point, you said it's hard to pinpoint why you hate the team. Will somebody put something in perspective? OKC plays defense. They're very physical. But then when someone like the Spurs returns the favor, then they start playing the victim and start acting like, why are you fouling so hard?
Yeah, they are really just an overall unlikable team. They really are. Like, the fact that when we see dynastic teams, generally speaking, they do carry with them a little bit of, I don't want to say they're controversial, but I think you either love them or you hate them, right? And the Chicago Bulls, for instance, like, Gary, we haven't really seen many straight dynasty teams in like this century. Really, we haven't. Like the Spurs, I would say like Tim Duncan was dynastic as an individual. Kobe Bryant, I would say, was dynastic as an individual. But he wasn't they weren't necessarily dynasties. Like the personnel changed, maybe a little less with San Antonio. They had more of a mainstay of core, but like, especially for like Kobe, there were like two iterations, two completely different teams. And then I guess you got the Warriors, but even they had a bit of they had the non-KD Warriors championships and then the KD Warriors championships. So it's like, the Bulls are really the last team we saw. And then, like, look, LeBron couldn't build a dynasty in Miami. He only won 2, and he got out of Dodge, and he just jumped all over. So, like, and I don't even think 4 in 23 years doesn't even count as him being dynastic. Like I said, Curry and Kobe and Duncan were dynastic. The amount of rings they won in a short period of time, the fact that they did it on one team, they were dynastic. LeBron isn't even dynastic as an individual, in my estimation. So we really, honestly, you can make a case. The last real dynasty like team that we saw was like the Bulls, even though they had a little bit of a changeover from the first repeat to the second. But my point is, though, like, most dynasties, people do love to root against them to some degree. But generally speaking, I think they're more beloved than not. Like the Bulls, like I think there were more Jordan fans in the country than not. Like if you were in the markets that were plagued by the Bulls and Michael Jordan, you hated Michael Jordan and the Bulls. But other than that, like the whole planet was a Michael Jordan fan, basically. So like, but this Oklahoma City Thunder team, as they try to become a dynasty, I don't know if they're going to get there. I certainly thought it was a distinct possibility before the alien descended onto Earth in the form of Victor Wembanyama, and the Spurs perfectly drafted and put pieces around him. Now I think they're going to be the Thunder dynasty stopper, but the Thunder are so universally disliked. Like, I get this sense from doing this channel and being on this platform that basically everybody hates Oklahoma City. Like, the whole country is rooting for the Spurs other than people in Oklahoma City. So that's wild to me, like how disliked and how unlikable this team is at the beginning. Like, usually you need to get more success and be on top longer to be so unanimously disliked. But the Thunder are already so hateable that, like, it is crazy to behold, honestly, to me. Like, it's weird to see, but I'm on the hate train with everybody. So, like, I'm on it. Like, I'm at the haters ball, sipping my haterade with everybody and rooting for the Spurs. And if not, the Knicks or whatever whatever can happen in the East. So, yeah, I'm with you, Incorruptible. I'm with all of you. They are absolutely insufferable. All right, we've got the Prez back in. What's up, Mr. President? Gary, what's this one say?
Release the Olynyk. Separate some shoulders.
So he wants some good old-fashioned vigilante justice, I think, here. Some, like the olden days when there were like the one tough guy enforcer on a team, and if someone else was getting out of line on the other team, you would just put the enforcer in to like clothesline their best player or something like that. I wouldn't look. I don't want to condone violence or champion. I certainly don't want to see anybody get hurt, but I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of old-fashioned vigilante, like Wild West justice here myself, Mr. President. I like that suggestion.
Ironically, we traded our enforcer. Jeremy Sohan took on that role. He was constantly fighting with guys. And now, ironically, he's on the Knicks. So they might send him in if they play the Spurs to try to do a little bit of enforcing. But that's another thing I think we need to draft is an enforcer.
Yep.
Power forward who can be an enforcer.
Guy. Yeah, you need a tough guy. Because you don't want Wembanyama. See, you don't want Wembanyama elbowing someone in the side of the head and getting himself ejected. To
be his own enforcer.
Other guy in to do that dirty work for him. Right. All right, James Cab 81 is up next. Welcome, my friend. Welcome back, I should say. Thank you very much. Gary, what's the question or comment?
Skap, you're a content beast. Go Knicks.
Yeah, I felt cheap by not putting anything out yesterday. And then today, again, I was at the studio at like 9:30 in the morning. I was in the studio till like 1:30. Then I had to immediately jump in an Uber, get to LaGuardia, and sit at the airport. And now, so I couldn't do anything today. So Gary and I were texting, and Gary was like, Skap, you got to take a rest. Like, you're going to kill yourself. And I'm like, Gary, no, I got to go on. I got to do something. I haven't done anything in 2 days. So I felt compelled. So tomorrow, James, and Gary wants to say something, but James, tomorrow you can look for, I think I'm going to do 2 videos tomorrow, a Whitlock appearance, the ESPN Las Vegas phone bit, and then I will come on tomorrow night after the game. So yes, I will make up for lost time tomorrow. Go ahead, Gary.
I didn't say you kill yourself. I said you're going to tire yourself out. I said I do not want to miss a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday live stream because I'm expecting the Cavs and Knicks game to be really good, game 3 in Cleveland. And obviously games 3 and 4 in San Antonio are going to be lit. So I just did not want for you to be like tomorrow night, yeah, I don't know if I can do it. I was traveling and I'm so tired.
Come on, Gary. I won't do that. Come on now. I feel like Jack Bauer at the end of a season of 24 right now, but I'll make it. See, Jack Bauer always found a way to persevere. Then at the end of the season, they would like wheel him out in a gurney with like stitching and like all these like electrodes and shit plugged to him and like IVs and everything. That will be me come like June 15th or whatever. But damn it, I will be here till then every day putting this shit out. Okay, next in, I don't want to get this name wrong, Gary, because a very generous donation. So thank you so much for your kind generosity. Sent at 11:20, so it's 12:06. So my hopes are you're still here to hear us discuss this question or comment. And Gary, can you help me with potentially figuring out the pronunciation so I do not slaughter this handle after such a generous donation?
I would say Dio Kalul.
Dio Kalul. Okay. Well, either way, Dio Kalul 5786. Hopefully we got that remotely right. I'll just call you Dio, though, for purposes of me thanking you. Thank you, Dio. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the comment. And thank you for sliding into the sponsor area here in the Skap Live After Dark with this very generous donation. Gary, what is the question or comment from them?
Survived layoffs today. First super ever. Spent my 20s grinding. Lost most of my basketball buddies, but Mamba stayed. Question for the stats guy. If we used medians, not means, where does Kobe rank versus the other all-timers?
Well, first of all, I'm glad you survived the layoffs. And thank you very much. I mean, for your first super ever, this is a very lofty super. So thank you very much. That is an interesting question. Now, typically, I'm trying to harken back. So like a mean is like an average in mathematics, right? But the median is like the exact middle point of something. Am I getting that right, Gary? So like a median is like if you have a line of numbers, the median is like the actual central point of the numbers, and the mean is the average. So you would take you would add the numbers up and divide an average amount. Can I get that? Is that right, Gary? You don't have to check necessarily. Someone in the live chat can probably confirm if I have gotten that right. Although
I looked it up because I have no idea off the top of my head. It says the mean average is calculated by adding all numbers in a data set and dividing by the count. The median is the physical middle value when the data is sorted in numerical order. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, but for me, Dio, I don't know, how familiar you are with me or my content. I've got Kobe over my shoulders. I have a 30-minute top 10 video that was really about a year plus in the makings. I wrote the video like a year before it came out. It was a very long video. It's 30 minutes in all. And it took me basically like a year to get sorted through the edits and stuff. So it didn't come out for like a year or a year and a half after I was promising it. And it is out. I urge you to find it. I justify my top 10 rankings. And Kobe Bryant to me is the number 2 all-time player in NBA history. Like I've got Jordan 1, Kobe 2. So if I'm doing the median and lining up the people in order, I mean, he's right. I mean, he's at the extreme end of my orderings. So I just don't think the guy's peak, top 4 or 5 peak, I would say it's arguably a top 2 or 3 peak. I mean, you tell me, like, can you find a guy who led a decade in scoring and average that was all NBA first team like 9 times, went to 7 finals and won 5? Like there's nobody else that did that. Nobody ever, other than Mike, which is why Mike and Kobe to me are the 1-2 guys. The only thing where Kobe falls shy is the MVPs because he was systematically screwed by the voters. Like he should have had 3 at least. And then look, that's as many as Magic and Bird. And people have Magic and Bird on Mount Rushmores. So like 3 would have been enough MVPs to put Kobe on everybody's consensus Mount Rushmore. But they didn't want him there. So they didn't give him any. And he only got the 1. But when you look at every other thing he's done, most first team all selections ever, tied for the most defensive. I'm sorry, the second most first team selections ever. He had 11, LeBron had 13. And then he had 9 first team defensive selections, tied for the most ever. So like, and he had 7, went to 7 finals and won 5. 5 of the more, and 2 of those, maybe like 2 of the 5 most challenging finals ever. So when you add all those things together, like he's easily Mount Rushmore to me. He's number 2. All right. Oh, good. It's Dio again, back to back. Wow, Dio. 2 very generous donations back to back. Yes. Hopefully, you said you survived those layoffs. Hopefully, you are making a nice salary as well to send me these very generous donations. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that, Gary. What is the follow-up Kobe question here from Dio?
And Dio Khalil, he is in the chat. Let me know in the regular chat, not another super chat, but the regular chat. Did I pronounce your name right? And if I got it wrong, how should I say it? I got to read a super chat.
Okay, I saw Dio. Yeah, I just saw Dio in again, so I wanted to put he came into the to the regular chat, so I saw that he agrees, and he's also got the Mamba at second. So love to see it, Dio. Love to see it. All right, let's get the follow-up question from him.
All right, he says, follow up harder. Kobe survives any era. Jordan, LeBron, Curry. Where do the stats end and the luck begin? Era, teammates, the bounces going their way.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about this often. I think there's bad luck and stuff and good luck that every all-time great encounters. Like everybody, you can point to series and moments and stuff that like impact and influence everybody. Like if I'm doing it with Kobe, I could say like, look, he had 50 points in game 6 of the Phoenix series in that 7-2 series. When he was up 3-1 and they lost the 3 games in 2006, when he had that great 35 point per game average season. He had that buzzer beater to get it to overtime in that series, then the game winner in overtime. Then he had 50 points in the closeout that should have been the closeout in game 6 in LA. And the Suns missed like 2 shots and they couldn't get the offensive rebound. Got the rebound eventually. The Suns did. Tim Thomas, I think, hit a 3, went to overtime. They won in overtime, won game 7, blah. Kobe, who knows? It wasn't a crazy packed West Field that year. Like, I think he would have got the Clippers next. I think they could have won that. He could have been the West Finals, and then who knows? Kobe tore his labrum in his shooting arm in the first round of the 2003 playoffs when they were going for a 4-peat. They ultimately get waxed by the San Antonio Spurs in the semis, and the Spurs gone to win the championship that year. But look, who knows, like, if Kobe didn't tear the labrum in his shooting arm in the first round of that series, like, who knows? Like the Paul Pierce game when he crapped his pants and had to be wheelchaired off the floor in the finals, and the Lakers lost a 22-point lead in that series. Like that would have been a 2-2 series if they would have held on and won that. A lot of bad breaks down the stretch for them there. So, I mean, you can make like, Kobe was hurt then in the Dallas series as well. Pau Gasol was hurt. Kobe ruptured his Achilles then when they were going into the playoffs in 2013. He was in another top 5, I think he was 5th in MVP that year at like 34. Anyway, you get bad breaks along the way is my point. Steph Curry, you mentioned here. Like Curry probably should have won in 2016 if Draymond Green doesn't get suspended, if he wasn't hurt, if all of his other elite defenders on that team weren't hurt, they probably hold on to that 3-1 lead in the finals. And that team is maybe thought of as the best team ever. But for LeBron, you mentioned him, and as it pertains to Curry, like if LeBron didn't lose Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving in game 1 of the series that preceded that in 2015, probably LeBron wins that series and Curry loses it. Again, and on and on and on. Kevin Durant would probably have 4 championships right now if he didn't rupture his Achilles in the third run with the Warriors. They would have won that. He would have 3-peated. He would have been finals MVP 3 times. Then if his foot wasn't on the line, it was behind the line in game 7 of the Milwaukee series against Giannis, I think likely the Nets go on and win the NBA championship that year. And that might have been, no, that was 2 years because he ruptured his Achilles. So it was 2 years later. But KD could have had 4 and 5 years if it wasn't for just a few little things that went against him. So look, luck, differential, positive, negative regression, it's a real thing in sports. It happens. It's part of sports. The question is, what do you do in the other times? Like, how do you win in the other years, right? Like, how do you build out your resume? And Kobe Bryant, look, he had Shaq for the 8 years. Then he had straight garbage for 2 years after they got rid of Shaq. Then he had pretty much straight garbage for like the last 4 years of his career. So like, but Kobe still found a way to get to 2 of the most challenging rings ever. Like, to me, again, Akeem's 2 rings, Dirk's 1 in 2011, and Kobe's 2 with Gasol. Like, those are the 5 best, hardest rings I can think of in 30, 40 years. So like, Kobe maximized still. He still got to 5 somehow, even in the face of all of the difficulties and the roster turnover and upheaval. Kobe Bryant, everyone talks about, oh, he played for Phil Jackson. Yeah, for 9 years. He was in the NBA for 20. Kobe Bryant played for 9 head coaches in the NBA. Look at all that upheaval and turmoil and a horribly run organization. Still, he found a way to 5 in the most historically jacked conference in league history. Overachieved, in my opinion, to get to the 5. LeBron underachieved to get to 4. So like, what do you do in the other years? Like, sure, LeBron's had bad luck, bad breaks, bad bounces. But what have you done in the other years to maximize your winning? Not much for LeBron, because he's a career choke artist and loser. I think if you put Kobe Bryant with any of the other teams in any of the other situations that we've seen that in his time, if you put him on Tim Duncan's situation, in LeBron James' situation, in Curry's situation, I think Kobe wins more than any of those guys. Maybe not more than Tim. I really respect Tim. He's top 4 to me as well. He's Mount Rushmore as well. But like, let's just say LeBron or Curry, for instance. I think Kobe's got more rings than Curry, more rings than LeBron, many more. If you swap those 2 in their situations, or him with one of those 2 guys. So look, Kobe was a tenacious warrior on the court. He played through all kinds of injuries. He was very mentally and physically tough. He was the greatest difficult shot maker ever. Kobe Bryant transcends every single era. There's no era from 1960 to present that you couldn't put Kobe on, and he's just as good, if not better, than the era that he existed in. But very good couple questions, Dio. Thank you very much. And we've got 26 Mr. WrestleMania in next. Don't know if there was just a mistake with a question or comment there. 26 Mr. WrestleMania. If you meant to leave something, go, and you're still on, go ahead and just mention in the live chat. Gary will pick it up. You don't have to send another super chat. Just Gary's going to keep an eye, and I'll read a couple of these for Gary while he's monitoring that situation. No, that's okay, Gary. Just keep an eye for a minute or 2 on that live chat. I'll take over for Q-Smo Jimbo. Go New York, go New York, go. 2 down, 2 to go. Just please, please, please do not let Ja Rule hold the Larry O'Brien trophy. IYKYK. I'm sure that's some kind of New York Knicks. If you know, you know. Yeah, if you know, you know. Go New York, go New York, go. Fuse Mode. Shout out to you. Congratulations, my friend. I am rooting for you. If it's Spurs Knicks, I have no dog in that fight. Just give me a 7-game delicious series. Like, I just want a nice high caliber basketball series. I don't care who wins there. If it's you v. the Thunder, go New York, go New York, go. I am firmly fixed on the bandwagon with you in that case. So I'm certainly hoping that you hold on and you take over and just get out of this series as quickly as possible. It would be great if the Knicks can sweep and just sit back and wait while, for their purposes, for Q-Smo's purposes, while the Spurs and the Thunder continue to beat the hell out of each other. Gary, any word on Mr. WrestleMania? Did he come back in? All right, I'll turn it back over to you for Will N8664 in that case. Welcome back, Will.
Hartenstein and Dort equal Timu, Lame Beer, and Mahorn.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good call. They are pretty comparable, honestly. Like those two guys are super, but like the pretty much all the entire Thunder team is filthy. Like Alex Caruso is also dirty as hell, if you ask me. So I mean, I like the way Caruso, I like his competitiveness though, and the things he brings. Caruso's one of those dudes that you hate his guts if he's not on your team, and you love him if he's on your team. But most of the Thunder are dirty. Definitely, Dort is the leader in the clubhouse, though. Dort is the dirtiest player, maybe in the entire NBA. We've got Kerry Patterson is in next. Kerry Patterson, 9520. Thank you, Kerry, so much for being here. Thank you so much for your generous donation to us and for sponsoring the show tonight. I greatly do appreciate you, Kerry. Gary, what's the question or comment from Kerry?
Unrelated to tonight. 1, SGA ain't that guy. Plus, plays unethical ball. 2, Joker's great, but heliocentric offenses inflate stats, not wins. 3, LBJ, Russ, Harden, Luka, Joker always need more help despite huge numbers because of Helio.
Fair, Kerry, but I will say this. Of the guys you've mentioned, LBJ, Russ, Harden, Luka, Joker has an NBA championship. Russ, Harden, Luka don't, and LeBron James has played with 8 different guys, 8 different individuals throughout the course of his career that have made 17 different all-star selections while playing on a team with LeBron James. So 17 instances that LeBron's played with an all-star to win his 4 titles in 23 years. Whereas Nikola Jokic in 11 years has played with 1 all-star 1 time. So not the same. Also, Steph Curry is a heliocentric offensive player, and Magic Johnson is a heliocentric offensive player. I think Nikola Jokic, I'm just going to say, I think he is a better offensive igniter, engine, and floor riser. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Than Steph Curry and Magic Johnson. I do think that. The difference is Steph Curry had elite defenses wrapped around him. He had the number 1 or 2 net rated defense in all 4 of his NBA championship runs. Not because he was a good or elite defense. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Gary, a thumbs up. Am I okay? Okay, sorry, I kicked out for a sec there. Not because he was a good or elite defender. In fact, he's a worser defender than Nikola Jokic. And Magic Johnson had good and elite defenders flanking him as well. And in addition to having elite defenders that could take away the defensive pressure from Magic and Steph Curry, they also play with Hall of Famers all over the place. Draymond, Clay, Kevin Durant for 2 of the titles, then Clay and Draymond for the other 2, so all 4. Then Andrew Wiggins, who was an all-star in 2022, to go with Clay and Dre when Curry won his 4th. And then Magic Johnson, do I even have to say it? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and James Worthy, and like probably the best 1 through 7 in NBA history in general. I mean, they had top 50 fringe guys as like their 4th or 5th option in some of those championship runs. Pretty sure, I don't want to just infer, but I'm pretty sure. Yes, Bob McAdoo. Bob McAdoo won 2 championships with the Lakers in the 80s. Bob McAdoo is a league MVP. He finished 2nd in MVP in 74-75, won the MVP. In 73-74, won the MVP in 75, 34 and 10. No, 34 and 14. Bob McAdoo averaged 35 points and 14 rebounds per game in a season in the NBA, was all NBA 1 and won the league MVP. I mean, this guy was their whatever, fifth guy on two of the Lakers championship team. So like, it ain't the same. Like Nikola Jokic, I understand the criticism, Carrie, I do. But Nikola Jokic is actually a far more serviceable and better defender than people want to realize. And he is very willing to adapt and accommodate his game to whatever the team needs. And unfortunately, the team hasn't been built very effectively around him. There's no good defensive pieces on that team. And quite frankly, the offensive pieces that they have typically, unfortunately, completely evaporate in the playoffs. So I think there does need to be some of these guys' names are fair. I don't think the Jokic one is. I will always push back on the Jokic. Go ahead, Gary.
Okay, now that you're transitioning away, sorry, my voice was going. Now that you're transitioning away to the next super chat, I'm going to get you to go all the way to the bottom, because let me just say for the record to the chat, you send a $100 super chat, you get VIP treatment. You get to go next. Dio came back with a $99 super chat. So let's go ahead and get to him next.
Dio,
slide on down.
Like I said, Dio, I really hope that you are making bank on this job that you avoided the layoffs on today, because my goodness gracious, this could be like a single with this and your other two that were also very large. This is like a single person record maybe in the Skap Live After Dark. Thank you very much, Dio. Shout out to you. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Gary, with the with this latest comment from Dio or question.
Last one, Skap. I want to say thanks for doing this tonight, even after travel. For Gary, it's Kaluli. It's Ugandan. Going back to the median, Americans are told that they are high earners at a 114,000 average, but it's really a 40,000 median. Does Kobe's high offset his low?
Well, thank you, Kaluli. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. And I think, yes, Kobe's highs certainly offset his lows. And that's another thing that I talk about with great regularity and frequency in terms of all players, really. Like the only person I think, there's only one player that's ever existed in NBA history that is flawless, that has no blemishes at all, that has a sterling and essentially a perfect resume. Do I even have to say it? Michael Jeffrey Jordan, GOAT Mike. Like he's the only guy that is above criticism for his entire resume. But every other player, every one of them that's ever existed and held a basketball on a basketball court that has played at any level, and even the greatest of the greats at the NBA level, have flaws. The question is, do their high points offset the flaws, and how extreme? Like that is what determines how great they are. And in my estimation, unequivocally, yes, Kobe's do. Like, and there are blemishes on Kobe's resume for sure. Like I just said, everybody has them. For Kobe, the ones that come to my mind in particular as a Kobe mega fan and historian, the series I mentioned against Phoenix earlier, while it should have been closed in game 6, it didn't and went to game 7, and Kobe barely shot in the second half. I think he took like 2 or 3 shots in the entire second half, was pouting. His team was getting blown to pieces at halftime. He had like 25 points at halftime, and it was down 20 still. It didn't matter. And he was just pouting and stuff in the second half. He took like 2 or 3 shots. I think he was trying to make a point to ownership and the front office. But anyway, that was not a good look for Kobe. Him losing by 37 points in game 6 at Boston Garden in the 2008 NBA Finals was not a good look. It was an even worse look because, again, the Paul Pierce shit game where he shit his pants and had to be wheelchaired off the floor and then came back. The Lakers were up like 22 points in the second half in that game in LA, and they would have tied the series 2-2 if they didn't lose that game. They did. It was 3-1. They blew the lead. It became 3-1 Boston. LA then staved off elimination in LA because it was still a 2-3-2 format then. So they won the next game in game 5 at home, then went and got absolutely obliterated by Boston, 37 points. Anything is possible. The Kevin Garnett game. So those are the flaws. Those are the blemishes. Of course, there were the air balls, the whatever, 3 or 4 air balls in the playoffs, but he was like 19, 20 years old when he did that. But when you look at all, that's pretty much it. Like, those are the negatives. That's it. Like, basically everything I just listed in a 20-year career. Like, yes, the last 3 years were bad, but he ruptured his Achilles at 34 in his 17th year. Then he played 6 games, another season-ending injury. Then he played like 19 games the following year, another season-ending injury. And then he limped through, carried both of his legs through 60 games in his final season at the age of 37. So really, like, when those are the blemishes, all of them in 20 years, like, the positives substantially and vastly outweigh the negatives. In fact, in such an extreme manner that I think that Kobe is easily the number 2 greatest player of all time in my estimation. Like, I think the most compelling argument is for number 2. Like, 1 is so out of reach. Like, 1 is Michael Jordan. No one will ever get him unless Victor Wembanyama. Wembanyama is the first dude that I've seen that I'm like, maybe. If he stays healthy, maybe. But like, for now, 1 is so far out of reach that, like, there's a compelling case for 2. Like, there's probably 7, 6, 7, 8, as many as 8 guys that have a case for number 2. But to me, Kaluli, for me, it's Kobe Bryant. Like, and it's not that difficult of a case for me to make. The only reason it's difficult is because the league media voters colluded against Kobe and intentionally froze him out from MVP votes. So to me, yes, very much so. The highs outweigh the lows. And thank you again so much for jumping in here and dropping these robust super chats. Okay, let me find my way back up here.
Charles H is next, right under Kerry Peterson. There we go.
All righty, Charles H, DE90P, welcome into you. Thank you so much for coming in and supporting us tonight as well. Gary, what is the question or comment from Charles?
Off-season video series idea forgotten. Great teams, 80s, 90s, Portland and Cavs, 90s Heat, Sonics, Knicks, Jazz, etc. 2000s Kings, Portland, New Jersey, and 76ers.
Charles, I saved your chat. I just screen captured it. I will put that in my off-season queue. I do want to do more. I want to do more video. I'm moving to a place where I want to do a show every day, Monday through Friday. So I'm still working on the time. Unfortunately, I probably can't do these late of streams, but I want to get to a time where most of you guys can get on because you guys are my faithful and loyal followers. But even if you can't get on at the actual live, you can certainly listen to it because it will be stored then as a video. But I want to do like a live stream, like a show every day, then one video that's more highly edited at that point. And it would be more of like a documentary video or something like that. So this would be an idea of something I can something I can put in the queue, Charles. So I've screen grabbed it because I'm always looking for ideas for things that I could do videos on. So thank you very much for that. Darth Cairns and the Dylan Brooks aura is back in again. Go ahead and read this one for me, Gary.
I wish we could see Skap commentate a friendly rec game from his followers on NBA 2K just to hear him call players for any bad ball decisions.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fun. I don't know. I'm so bad with technology, and I don't know how. I'm sure that is a possibility, quite frankly. I don't know if I could do it on this streaming apparatus, but I'm sure there's some whatever, Twitch or whatever the hell that is. I hear people say Twitch. I don't know what that is, but I think it's like a gaming streaming thing. I don't even know. I'm old, guys. Guilty, but
I don't know either. I don't know either.
but there's something, I'm sure. Maybe some young viewers or whatever can connect with me via email. And that's something we can set up maybe in the off season as well, as me streaming you guys playing some NBA 2K possibly. We could get that in the queue as well. Space Ghost
Terps. Maybe he's a Maryland Terps fan. He loves Space Ghost, like the icon that pretty humorous cartoon back in the day, Space Ghost. Terps, I would assume that's Maryland Terps.
So Space Ghost Terps, welcome into you. Go ahead, Gary. Actually, I'll take it real quick. I've already read it. It's quick. Knicks undefeated in East, then swept in the finals. First of all, they're not undefeated. They lost 2 games to the Hawks in the first round by 1 point each in games 2 and 3. They've been undefeated since, and they won the game 1. So whatever, 4, 6, and then 8 and 2. So they're, I don't know. I'm my math is really drawing a blank right now with my lack of sleep and travel. They were 4 and 2. Then 4 and 0, so 8 and 2, and now 2. So they're 10 and 2 right now. So they're 12. So in 12 games, they've lost twice, but still a very good run so far for them. I do not think they get swept in the finals, no matter who they draw, Ghost Terps, or Space Ghost, I should say. I think they would get at least 1, maybe 2 against the Thunder, and then maybe 2 or 3 against the Spurs. Who knows? But I think they get games. They're not getting swept. Not the way they're playing, and not the fact that both the Thunder and Spurs are going to be a little beat up when they come out of this series, whereas the Knicks might sweep and they'll just be resting and waiting. So I do think the Knicks get something in that finals. All right, Darth Cairns and the Dylan Brooks aura is back again. Go ahead with this latest one, and we've got more I see coming from him as well.
Overall, this season was entertaining. The KD files, Kawhi money scandal, Pistons fights, Thunder and Spurs rivalry, and the worst dunk contest. I guess we need Mac McClung back.
Yeah, this dunk contest, just when you think they can't get any worse, this one was probably the worst. You're right. Like, it just keeps going lower and lower and lower. But overall, you're right. The season was entertaining. Luka had a crazy March, just a big scoring output from him. Nikola Jokic averaged a triple-double again. He becomes the first player in NBA history to lead the league in assists and rebounds. I mean, yeah, it was a compelling season all the way around. I say there were good regular season elements, and the playoffs have been really interesting and compelling, I think. So, Darth Cairns, I'm with you. Like, overall, pretty impressed with the product of the NBA this year for the first year in a long time. All right, my friend Jay Savage, 8295 is up next. What's up, my fellow Jay? Welcome into you. Thanks for being here as always. Gary, what does Jay have for us tonight?
If the Knicks sweep the Cavs, what do you think will be the Knicks' chances in the finals? And let me add a qualifier to this. He could be right. Maybe they will sweep. I am thinking the Cavs are going to win 1, possibly 2 games. I think the Knicks are going to win in 5 or 6. So what I'm saying is, it doesn't really alter your prediction of their outcome in the finals, whether they sweep them or win in 5 or 6, does it? What do you think their chances are if they win or 5 or 6 versus a sweep? It doesn't matter really, does it?
No, I'd say about the same. And like I said, I think the Knicks can make it interesting. I think they would win maybe 2 against the Thunder. I think they'd win at least two against either team. I think, and then maybe could potentially win. It's hard to gauge exactly how good they are right now and how good they're playing versus the competition that they're getting. Like, is this a product of weak East or good Knicks, or a mixture of both? Maybe. I don't know, but they look really good. And I think they might have a shot, depending on what the injuries and stuff are for the Spurs and the Thunder coming out. Like, if Jalen Williams doesn't play at all for the Thunder, like, maybe there's a chance. If Harper and or Fox or hurt. If it's the Spurs that get there, maybe they beat them. So I think there is a chance that the Knicks could be NBA champions. I don't think it's the significant possibility of what occurs. Like, I think one of the two West teams will ultimately win, but I think it will be a good competitive series, and the Knicks will have opportunities to potentially take extra games and maybe even win the series. I think it will be a compelling series, in my opinion. Darth Cairns back in again, and there's more coming from Darth Cairns as well. But let's get this most recent one. Thank you. And thank you for your Dylan Brooks aura, as always. Go ahead, Gary.
What's the most elegant, beautiful pass that Skap has seen that made him drop his jaw in awe?
I mean, it's going to sound like a cop-out, but basically just pick Nikola Jokic's best pass from each night that he plays basketball. Like, he makes insane passes. Like, he just does these ridiculous behind the back passes between double teams to some cutting player. Like, it's like every night he does some ridiculous. There was one in particular that they met, the shot was missed. It was against, I think it was against the Rockets, maybe in the in-season tournament on their red courts. There was one pass that was a blown 3-point shot, but it looked like a video game glitch. Like, when you slowed it down, it looked like the ball was like shooting out of the side of his head somehow. And it was like along the baseline, he like curved the ball like around two defenders, like going out of bounds along the out of bounds baseline. And it like perfectly landed in his shooter's hand. I forget who blew the three. Maybe Spencer Jones or something. I forget who blew the three, but like it ruined an all-time highlight for Jokic when they blew the wide open three. But the pass was disgusting. Like, it was just ridiculous. And he makes so many of them. Like, there are maybe not every game, but there was like 10 passes this year where I was like, how does he do that? Like, how does he know those guys are there? Like, and like, he also does, like I said, behind the back, behind his head, like not looking the other way through. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, the level of passes that guy makes. So it would certainly be something from Jokic, Darth Cairns, 100%. All right, we've got MN Miguel, 95. Miguel, what's up? Thanks for being here. Welcome to you, Gary. What's the question or comment from Miguel?
Would have loved to have linked up while you were in New York City, Skap. Looking forward to the House of Highlights video. #Mamba forever.
Thank you, Miguel. Would have loved to hook up as well. I'm in contact with those guys. I'd like to do more. I think they want me to do more. I have actually in-laws that live in Newark, and I visit them pretty regularly, and they come to Florida pretty regularly. But I'd like to get a little bit more notice next time and stay maybe a couple days and work on a couple projects with them. And then I'll stay with my in-laws in Newark, and I'll be around the city for like a couple days, maybe a week or two, actually. So, Miguel, next time I'm in Gotham, perhaps we can link up and have a drink in the city when I'm there. So I will shout it out next time I'm there. And then my email is on in my YouTube, my info, my YouTube. You can find my email there. If you shoot me an email, I'll give you my cell phone. And yes, perhaps we can link up next time I'm in NYC. And yes, Mamba forever, Miguel. All right, we've got, like I said, Darth Cairns would be back, and so he is now pretty quickly with a very generous donation. Thank you so much, Darth Cairns. I appreciate you. Gary, what is the latest question or comment from him?
Dylan Brooks, iced out with his jewelry, watching LeBron getting swept was peak trolling. Would he have fit right in with the bad boy Pistons?
Guys, sorry, great question. Before I continue with that, I just wanted Luna to say hello. She was very she was very distraught when I was gone this last like 40 hours or like 30 some hours. So I'm just going to pick her up and pet her a little bit now. She was very excited to see me, as was I excited to see her when I got back. She is not only my boss, but my best friend. Okay, we've got a great question by Darth Cairns and a Dylan Brooks aura centric question. I gotta be honest, I was never a huge fan of Dylan until the rivalry with LeBron started. And then I became a big Dylan Brooks fan. And him paying for courtside seats. Gary, did you see this? Do you know what he's talking about?
I saw that Dylan Brooks was on the front row watching the game. I didn't know if he was trolling LeBron or not. To be honest, I didn't.
Of course, he was there trolling LeBron.
Right. I wasn't sure. I didn't really watch much of the Thunder Lakers because it just wasn't a very interesting series. I just watched the lowlights of LeBron, but that's about it.
This man paid Gary probably 25 grand of his own money to get that seat and sit and laugh at LeBron James and troll him on his way to a 4-0 sweeping in Los Angeles.
After he whined about the refs helping the same team, so he just gets obliterated by Phoenix. By OKC, and then trolls LeBron for the same thing happening to him, which I know obviously LeBron wants to claim he's the GOAT and all, but I don't know. I just think he's
I still love it, Gary. I love it because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So Dylan Brooks, it was hilarious. Like it was next level haterade. Like it was legitimately like he could have, and in that with all the bling that he had on and the ice, like he could have literally went right into the skit of the haters ball, the Chappelle Show haters ball with whatever Buck Nasty and whatever some Silky Johnson. Like he could have. It could have been Dylan Brooks could have been up for the hater of the year, and he would have been dressed appropriately to be into that ball. All right, DJing 1498 started us out tonight, fired the opening salvo of comments. Let's get back in to some more from DJing. Go ahead, Gary.
Fear the beard, more like smear the beard. The hardest slander makes me smile. Is Wemby as hard to officiate as Shaq was, or was that a different animal?
Yeah, I think I think he'll get better calls than Shaq and Nikola Jokic for that matter, because Shaq more so than Jokic, but Shaq played in a much more physical era. And even in that physical era, he was still so much bigger and more physical and like stronger than everybody else. Now Jokic is like 6'11", 285, and is just a physical, very like brooding and strong, powerful figure that plays against a bunch of skinnier, weaker guys and smaller guys. So like those guys are prone to just not get calls because they're so big and physical that like officials just don't care when little guys beat the shit out of them. So that's why when you see Jokic, he's got these like gouges and shit on his arm all season long. He's got these like, it looks like a bear attacked him because he's getting slapped and scratched and gouged and held like every play. But he's so big and physical that the officials are like, yeah, whatever. And Shaq kind of had that same issue when he was playing. I think Wemby, because he's so slender, I feel like his body gets displaced very easily when someone pushes into him or moves him. So like, I feel like he's going to, and plus like I think the NBA is going to love this guy moving forward, to Gary's point, that he starts getting a very favorable star whistle starting maybe as early as next year, maybe as early as this series. So I don't think it will be as bad for Wemby as it was on Shaq. And then I think on Nikola Jokic. All right, go ahead, Gary.
You know how in soccer you are required to wear shin guards. You cannot step on the field without shin guards, or rightfully so. In basketball, especially the NBA, they should be required to make sure before every game their nails are trimmed. Because you know a lot of them grow their nails out just to try to attack bigger guys. That's why his arms are scratched up, because their nails are too long. They should be required to trim their nails. Doesn't that sound like?
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's weird because like when I played basketball, like I always wanted my nails as short as possible. Like not just for the scratching other people, but also just like the feel of like releasing the ball, like felt weird to me if I had longer nails. So like that is weird that they do that. But yeah, I guess speaking of that, reminded me of something though. I saw footage today on X, and he was it was Gary. I don't know if you saw this. Wemby was on the free throw line. He wasn't shooting. He was on the side, like trying to get position for the rebound, a potential rebound. And Hartenstein was next to him, and you could see Hartenstein just intentionally staring down at Wembanyama's foot. And then as soon as the ball went up, Hartenstein stomped on his foot.
That was Chet.
I'm sorry, Chet. Yeah, I'm sorry, not Hartenstein, Chet. Did you see that footage?
I did. I've got to tell you, I honestly didn't have. I'll tell you why, because it's going to sound kind of contradictory to me. I didn't have a problem with it because when he did that, there wasn't any way he was about to. It wasn't a Zaza on Kawhi. Like Kawhi landed. It wasn't that. There was no way he was going to injure Wemby. He was trying to get ahead, and Wemby had his foot on the inside just slightly of Chet's side. Wemby, you got to keep your foot in those two lines, because he kind of put his foot there, and I think that's kind of like Chet's like, well, his foot's touching there, so let me just. If he had tried to trip him and injure, like what Lou Dort did to Jokic,
right?
That was BS. That's why Jokic turned into demon mode. And rightfully so. If you intentionally try to injure a player, that's one thing. There was no way Chet was going to injure Wemby on that play. He was trying to get him to stuck for a microsecond so he could jump ahead of him. I didn't have a problem with it because it wasn't like malicious. It was just one of those things, okay, I hope I get away with this. But Wemby also was getting away with sticking his foot out of the box that he was designated in. I just chalked it up as a physical play between two competitors, so it didn't bother me that much.
Okay, next in, Gary, is Will N8664. Again, what's up, Will? Thank you very much for your continued engagement and support here. Go ahead, Gary, with this most recent comment from him or question.
Josh Hart took it personally when the Cavs defense ignored him in game one.
Yeah, didn't play he played 30 minutes in game one, an overtime game, of course. He was a minus 23, 5 of 11 shooting, 13 points. He came out after that, said all the right things after the game. Said, and tonight too, said, like, of course I want to be on the floor. Of course it pisses me off when I'm not out there, but like whatever's best for the team is what I want to do. And whatever helps the team win is what we should do. And tonight he was the guy. Like, he was instrumental in the third quarter and really blowing that thing out. So just a great bounce back game for him. And he's he does a lot of little things. He's an intangible player. And just another key contributor to this Knicks team, and another guy that can have a night like that. While they're not a deep team, they have several guys that could really just go off on any given night. Like, they're not deep. Like, they really only go like 1 through 5. And their bench is not great. But basically, of their starting 5, any one of them could have like 30 points and like be the guy that night. So like, that is valuable, I think, and kind of unique to some degree. So I like the Knicks. I like where they're positioned. I like their outlook the remainder of this postseason. All right, Darth Cairns is back in again. My goodness, Darth. Like, for the 12th time tonight, probably. Welcome back into you. Gary, what's the question or comment this time?
Which basketball moment made Skap actually bust out laughing? I don't think I've ever seen Skap smirk a centimeter.
I'm smirking right now. I laugh all the time. I am in my videos. I'm typically 99% of the time pretty serious. But in these streams, I joke around and laugh a lot. And I laugh at many basketball things. In fact, I laughed pretty recently, just this year. I laughed when the Lakers were either tied or down one with like 20 seconds left. And LeBron actually decided to not make the right basketball play for once and try to make a layup himself in clutch time. And he obviously bricked it off the backboard. That was the most recent thing that made me chuckle while watching a basketball game. I think I also chuckled in game one. In addition to all of the missed shots by James Harden, he did some ridiculous. He drove into the lane and tried doing some behind the head pass, like in the midst of that massive run by the Knicks in the fourth quarter. And he it was a turnover, obviously. Okay, he threw it directly to a Knick player. And then he tried flopping and just hit the ground and laid on the ground while the fast break ensued the other way out for the Knicks. So that made me chuckle as well. I laugh all the time. I think the hardest I've ever laughed during a basketball game was when the Mavericks won game 6 of the 2011 series. I was convulsing, probably. I was rolling around on the ground when LeBron lost that series to Dallas. But I see many things that make me laugh while I'm watching sports. There's no doubt about that. All right, DGang1498 is in yet again. Welcome and thanks. Welcome back, I should say. And thanks to you again, DGang. Gary, what's this latest comment from them?
Aside from experience and no Fox, do you think Castle's turnovers are partly because he has to expend so much energy guarding SGA? Love Castle, elite two-way.
Yeah, for sure. Additional responsibilities dialed in on SGA, and that's going to be even more pronounced if Harper's not there moving forward. But yeah, like no De'Aaron Fox and now no Harper, like that just puts a lot of additional strain on Castle, both on defense, but also as the principal ball handler and initiator. So like young guy, lots of responsibilities, both sides of the floor against a very difficult perimeter defense that is well known for their forcing turnovers. So add it all up, and that's what's been, resulting in all these turnovers by him. But again, I just got to reiterate, he's playing a great series still, even with those turnovers. Playing a great series on both sides of the ball. And for his age as well and the opponent, I could not be more impressed with him. Okay, let's see here. Andy Flag HC. What's up, Andy? Thank you very much. Welcome into you. Go ahead, Gary. I'll let you read this one, even though it's shorter.
Why D. Mitchell is there but not showing up? Love from, I'm not sure which flag that is. I don't want to get it wrong.
Let's see here.
Andy Flag HC. My first guess was Puerto Rico, but I'm probably wrong.
Let's see here. It looks pretty familiar to me, but I don't want to infer and get it wrong either. Also, it's very small on my computer.
Let us know in the chat, Andy. What is that for? And by the time you respond, hopefully it'll let us know. Just let me know in the chat, Andy. What's that? Is that Puerto Rico?
I want to say no, it's not.
I'll look it up. Why don't you respond to them, and then I'll look it up. People in the chat are saying Puerto Rico, so let me confirm that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very curious now. I think it is Puerto Rico. I'm pretty sure it's
Yes,
Puerto Rico.
it is. Okay, it is. I just confirmed it. Okay, I was correct.
Well, Andy, thank you and welcome from Puerto Rico. Shout out to you again. As I always say, I love to hear where you guys are coming from, all the different markets around the world. We get a lot of people from different areas in Skap Live After Dark, and I am very, very thankful for all of you. Andy, again, from Puerto Rico, salute to you, my friend. And yeah, Donovan, look, at least he got out of the second round, Andy. I mean, he's never been out of the second round in his entire NBA life, about a decade strong now. He was all NBA first team last year. So at least he's gotten out of the second round. Baby steps, Andy. This year, out of the second round. Next year, maybe out of the conference finals into the NBA finals. Though I wouldn't hold my breath for that, particularly not if James Harden and or LeBron James are on the floor with him next year. All right, next in is Marco from Serbia. What's up, my friend? Welcome in, my brother from Serbia, and thank you so much, as always, for being here. Gary, go ahead with Marco's question or comment.
Greetings from Serbia, brothers. Question for both of you. Have you ever watched any EuroLeague game ever for at least one quarter? SGA is shameful.
So, actually, no, I have not seen any EuroLeague games. I've watched FIBA game. I've watched a lot of international games because I watch the FIBA championships, typically the FIBA World Championships I watch most years. And then I watch a really large amount of the Olympic basketball as well. So I've seen a lot of international basketball and FIBA basketball, but I have never seen a EuroLeague game. I don't even know where I would get it. I guess I could it's like pay-per-view or something. I guess I could get a special sports package or something, or maybe find it on a streaming site somewhere to watch, because I am interested. I would like to watch some Euro basketball. I hear great things about it. Gary, have you ever watched a EuroLeague game?
No, I actually haven't. It never comes on TV here, at least not that I know of. There are all kind of cable packages. You can get international leagues and stuff, but I don't have any of that. So I never really see it. So no, I haven't either.
So that's something Gary and I will both have to look into here at some point. Jay Savage, what's up, Jay, my fellow Jay? Welcome back to you. Gary, I'll take this one real quick. If Knicks play the Spurs in the finals, the Knicks going to win because the Spurs struggle with small guards. Well, look, I've been mistakenly saying that the Spurs were 0-3 against the Knicks. They're not. They're 2 and the Knicks are 2-1. So the Knicks did fare well, though, against the Spurs in the regular season. The regular season is a different animal from the playoffs. Though, if the Spurs are all banged up and they get through, maybe the Knicks will win that series. It is a distinct possibility, Jay. So I think that would be a closer, more competitive series. I think the Thunder would beat the Knicks relatively easily, but I still think the Knicks, while I say the Knicks would get 2 games, and that doesn't sound like an easy series, I feel like the Thunder might win big in 3 of the 4 wins that they get, but then the Knicks squeak out 2 wins or something. So it's not as competitive as it feels, even though it's 6 games, if that makes sense. All right, we got George Costanza in next. Gary, I'll take this one too. George Costanza, who is, as we know, the Human Fund CEO. Skap, Gary, chat. What's Kramer's job? He was protesting. I know this. He was obviously, come on, George. You think I don't know my Seinfeld trivia? It was H&H Bagels. He worked for a bagel joint, and then I guess he did. They went off strike.
They went on strike?
They were on strike, but they, for years or something. And then when they came off, it was several years later, Kramer comes back to the bagel job. And then everybody else obviously is gone because they all got other jobs and stuff. That was also the episode where Jerry is dating the Two-Face that looks differently in different lights. And Elaine gets caught in the bagel joint and the steam. And then I believe, was that also, I think it was the Festivus episode as well. So the Festivus for the rest of us, which would, George Costanza, who's here, be where your Human Fund CEO reference also comes from. So come on now. You can't sneak by a Seinfeld trivia question on me. D. Jiang, thank you so much. Welcome back in for the 15th time to you as well tonight. A very generous donation here as well. Thank you. Gary, what's the question or comment this time from D. Jiang?
You know, the Spurs sent the NBA a compilation of all the flopping and dirty plays from Game 2 to review. Game 3 and 4 are about to be very different. The Spurs don't complain. They move with class.
There was one absolute wild flop I saw again on X. Yeah, I don't know which Thunder player it was, but it was Harrison Barnes was the one that was like for the Spurs. He was like setting a screen and he was literally just standing straight up and down. He wasn't moving at all. And a Thunder player literally like just like flailed right off of him, like just like threw himself like 3 feet onto the ground. It was absurd. Like even for them and for their standards, that flop was so utterly disgusting. I hope they did send a flop and dirty play compilation DJing. I hope the league offices are reviewing that stuff. And I do hope that game 3 and 4 are very different. I am hoping badly that the Spurs win 3 and 4 to go up 3-1. That would be just so tasty for my purposes as a now pretty strong Thunder hater at this point with all of you guys. Next in is Jay again. Jay Savage. I'll just take Jay's comment too, because we're 2 Jays in the same pod, Gary. If SGA doesn't three-peat with this Sam Presti super team, I feel like he underachieved. What do you think? Yeah, like they should three-peat. If Shai is that great, he should three-peat. His team, if you remove Shai and if you remove Wemby from the teams, those teams are very close. If not, the Thunder are still the advantage, still better, right? So really, if Shai doesn't three-peat, it's because Wemby outplayed him, and Wemby is better than him at 22 and 23. So yeah, that's an underachievement for a 28-year-old back-to-back league MVP. You bet your ass, Jay, it will be an underachievement. All right, we've got Kayako. Oh, go ahead, Gary.
I looked it up. It was Isaiah Joe.
Okay.
Flopped.
Did you see that, Gary? Did you see that?
I saw the meme of it today. I don't recall it from the game, but yeah,
a disgusting act on that flop.
Yeah.
Like that is just so. Like, why are you doing that? Like, it's not like just play basketball and try to beat this team or try to beat each other. Like, what do you do? What are we doing?
It shows fear. It shows a lack of confidence and fear.
It's crazy.
That's why the Spurs aren't doing it. They're not afraid. But really, more so than blame the players, we got to blame the league and the referees.
Yeah.
Because if they get away with it, of course they're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, honestly, Gary, for stuff like that, like honestly, for ones like that, you should have like 2 or 3 challenges the other coach. And if it's something like that ridiculous, like the players should be like, Harrison Barnes should be like, absolutely not. Like I did nothing. And then if that's an initiated challenge, then I think the flopping player gets ejected. I think that's, you have to go to that extreme level to get this back under control. Like you face an immediate ejection for that game if you try to pull that shit. Like that's even beyond like the typical grifting foul shit like that we see, free throw stuff. Like that is just, there's no place in basketball for something that like that if you guys didn't see it, go look at this Isaiah Joe Harrison Barnes situation from the other night. It is ridiculous. Like that's the stuff. It needs to be eradicated from the NBA immediately. All right, we've got Kayako back in. Spurs been getting rigged drafts every year, bro. So, I mean, if the NBA is rigging draft lotteries, which I think is possible, then that could potentially, I mean, Gary, these are the 1, 4, and 2 overall picks in successive back-to-back years is pretty crazy stuff. But look, they made the picks. Like Wembanyama was a slam dunk. Anyone would have picked him if they had the first pick. But then they had to get Castle fall to them. Then they had to get they had to make Harper as the selection for the number 2. So they're yes, I agree. 1, 4, and 2 back-to-back picks is crazy looking, Kayako. But they did still execute on those picks. They made those picks and they have all panned out wonderfully. And maybe the Spurs are helping to also bring those players along to some degree. And like they're, cultivating these players in-house very well and coaching them up. And like they're just in a good system and a good organization. So maybe they're materializing more than they would have if they were elsewhere. So I think there's some of that as well. Okay, DJing back again. Thank you very much for your continued support here. Gary, go ahead with this most recent of many from DJing.
SGA had a good game too, because Wemby was constantly being held from getting to his defensive spots to contest so many of those flop shots.
They really were flop shots. It's crazy. I've never seen a dude hit the floor on like every shot that he attempted in a basketball game before. Like it is crazy that he's doing this to this level. It's almost like he's trolling us now all at this point by continually utilizing this tactic, like overutilizing it. And yes, I do agree. Wemby was getting slowed up and detained in traffic and stuff on a lot of those offensive possessions. So that maybe the league does have some tape from the Spurs, and they are going to be kind of breaking that down and looking into it. And maybe there will be a referendum of some sort put out for the whatever crew gets the game tomorrow. I'm very intrigued and ready and interested to watch that game, obviously, and then talk about it with you guys afterwards. Ruthless Raider 78, welcome to the party, pal. A regular, good to have you. Skap, do you remember dissing my dung bucket of a city? Ruthless Raider, what is your dung bucket of a city? I feel like I've been making fun of Cleveland a lot lately, the mistake by the lake, Ruthless Raider. But I mean, you're such a big Raiders fan that I don't know. I would consider maybe that you would be from somewhere, either Oakland or Vegas or something like that. Ruthless Raider, just let me know in the comment. Gary, keep an eye on the comment section from Ruthless Raider. I know Ruthless Raider is here, obviously. So keep an eye, and Ruthless Raider, let me know to which dung bucket you are referring to, Gary. Keep an eye on that. Oh, wait, he's come back in. Okay, no, there was no clarification. Gary, I'll read these next two. You keep an eye on the main chat for me from Ruthless Raider. Fun fact, Jalen, this is from Will N, by the way. Thank you, Will, again, for yet another donation to us. Fun fact, Jalen Brunson is currently undefeated in every playoff matchup against Donovan Mitchell, going back to Brunson as Luka's backup on the Mavs. That is a fun fact. You know how I love these fun facts and little tidbits and trinkets of information, factoids and stats and stuff. So that is a fun fact. Will, I applaud you for giving that fun fact to me. And that is one now that I will keep wrapped in my mind here, as I typically do when I find something that entertains me or interests me from a factoid standpoint. I typically just will hoard that in my mind, and I'll drop some other little bit of information out to make room for it. All right, Ruthless Raider 78 back in. Gary, any follow-up on his dung bucket city yet? No? Okay. Well, Ruthless Raider also wants us to know, was 2016 more Kyrie and Latrine ballin' or Golden State choking? I don't know that I think, yes, Golden State choked, even with the injuries, even with the suspension. 73-9, 3-1 lead. That's a big choke. There's no doubt about that. But look, Curry was hurt. Dre got suspended. I always forget. Was it Zaza Pachulia? Did he get hurt?
No. Andrew Bogut.
I don't know why I keep mistaking Pachulia for Bogut. So Bogut got hurt too. I even think Iguodala was hurt as well in that series. So a bunch of injuries, the suspension, and Kyrie and Latrine were also balling. There is no doubt about all of those things. The answer, Ruthless Raider 78, is yes. It was all of those things. I don't know if it was more or less of any of them. I think they all equally played into that kind of a role, or played into the 3-1 comeback that we saw, which is still the only 3-1 comeback in finals history, in NBA finals history. By the Bounce 49 is up next. Welcome in to Buy the Bounce. Thank you very much for your generous donation. Gary, what is the question or comment from Buy the Bounce?
Rewatched your debate with Gil. It's crazy how many people feel the need to have a 1 and 2 option. Why can't the jock sniffers and the bootlickers accept that can Kobe, Shaq both be equally impactful?
Yeah, that was a great fun for me, the debate, the Gilbert debate there. Guys, you can go find it. I did 2 different videos on my channel. They're both around 40 minutes in length. And I've tagged in the comment section of the video, the description field of the video is the full 5-hour stream of me debating Gilbert Arenas. 3 of the 5 hours are me and Gil basically head to head. And it is mainly circling around Kobe Bryant. And yeah, I don't understand why so many people try to depreciate Kobe Bryant's 3 rings because Shaq was on the team. He led the Lakers in fourth quarter scoring in all 3 finals runs. He led the Lakers in clutch scoring in all 3 finals runs. He led the Lakers in assists in all 3 finals runs. He was first or second team All-NBA defense in all 3 finals runs, and he was the best defender on the team. And he averaged 1 to 1.5 points less than Shaq overall. So to me, you can make a case Kobe was the best player on the team and the most important player on the team. And if it was a whole playoff MVP and not just the finals MVP, likely Kobe would have won at least 1, if not 2, of the playoff MVP awards in their 3 playoff runs. So I don't know, By the Bounce, why the sniffers and the lickers are so obsessed with Shaquille O'Neal as it pertains to Kobe Bryant's 3 championships with him. All right, Gary, I'll take some of these. They're shorter ones. I will keep them. Ruthless Raider 78 back in. Did LaHershey Squirt actually fear the Mamba? Yes, LaHershey Squirt feared the Mamba, Ruthless Raider 78. Look, Kobe punked his ass in Vegas in that famous blue-white game when they were prepping for the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Kobe then punked him again in the All-Star game when I think LeBron won his 4th MVP when he was 28, and Kobe was 33 or 34 years old. Picked him up full court in the 4th quarter, didn't let him score, blocked him a number of times, stripped him a number of times, held him scoreless till the final 30 seconds of the game when he hit 1 free throw when the West was up 8. Kobe just owned LeBron. People say, oh, well, LeBron's record was better. Yeah, because it was weird situations and circumstances in those games. LeBron, I'll tell you, could have played Kobe in 2 finals, but choked his ass off against the Magic and the Celtics. So then Kobe had to beat the teams that beat MVP LeBron with 62 and 66 wins those years. But yes, LeBron didn't have it like Kobe. LeBron knew it, and he absolutely, I think, feared the Mamba. DJing 1498 is in. If Jordan replaced Kobe, do the Lakers beat Detroit? I don't know. It's a great question. I mean, quite frankly, Kobe in 2004, I mean, what iteration of Jordan are we talking about? I mean, Kobe in 2004 to me was better than the Jordan I really saw. I think Jordan 80s, late 80s and early 90s is the best player of all time. I didn't really see that guy play in live time. Kobe Bryant was the best player I've ever seen. Not Kobe's finest moment. That's obviously, I mentioned Kobe's blemishes earlier. That's one that I obviously should not have neglected to mention. The 2004 finals when they lost 4-1 to the Pistons. But I will say this about that series. They bottled Shaq. They bottled the middle up completely. The remaining Lakers players were absolutely dreadful. So bad. The third leading scorer in that series was Derek Fisher, who scored 6 points per game on 30% shooting from the field. So bad. And that Pistons team, as great as the teams that Jordan saw defensively, because he saw several great defenses throughout his NBA playoff runs, including the Bad Boys Pistons from the 80s. But that 2004 Pistons team very well might have been the best defensive team ever. honestly. Like, they were just so wild, so good. I think they held their opponents all told in their entire playoff run that year to like 83 or 84 points per game in like a 20-game playoff run. The next year, they took the Spurs 7 in the following finals, I believe it was. And again, a ridiculous defensive battle in that series. And Tim Duncan didn't play particularly well in that series, but it was just, that's what that team did to you. So I don't know, honestly. I mean, I just don't know. Jordan lost to the bad boy Pistons 3 times. So Ruthless Raider 78 has LaFudge Crumpet cheated the game. 100% Ruthless Raider. Of course he has. He cheated himself. He cheated the game. I say this, and I'll say it again, in less emphatic and drawn out of a fashion as I did last time I said it a few days ago. When you don't rise to the challenge, when you instead run away and sidestep the challenge, you inherently never reach your true potential. And therefore, LeBron James, by doing that, not only cheated the NBA, he cheated himself. Like, Michael Jordan staying and fighting and getting through the Pistons was him conquering his demons and like rising to the challenge. Kobe Bryant never left. He never ran. They gave him shit after Shaq left. He stayed. He got Gasol. He ultimately won more. They took the challenge head on, and they became their best player and their best person because of it. So yes, LeBron, or LaFudge Crumpet, cheated not only himself, but the game as well. Or not only cheated the game, he cheated himself as well. All right, I'll turn it back over to you, Gary. Hans RP5EZ. What's up, Hans? Booby, I am your white knight. Welcome in, Hans. Thanks for being here. Gary, what's the question or comment?
Lifelong Nuggets fan. Hans, let us know in the chat, how many years have you been a Nuggets fan? I'm curious, what was your first year? Like, for me, 1990 was the first year I liked the Spurs, David Robinson's rookie year. So he says, lifelong Nuggets fan. Bron took Watson's yes, he did. Yes, he did. Bron's agent deserves at least 80% and a Nobel Peace Prize for those negotiations.
You know what, Hans? He can have the 80 if he puts on a ski mask, gets a weapon, and goes in to collect the checks every week from the Nuggets or from the Nuggets building, because that's what should happen, because it's absolute stealing. And how do the Nuggets keep doing this? How do they keep giving out these horrific contracts? $125 million for Christian Brown? Come on. Absolutely. Look, they got to make moves. They got to shed Jamal Murray, and they got to shed Aaron Gordon, because you got to keep Cam Johnson and Peyton Watson, and they can't do that with keeping Jamal Murray because of this Christian Brown contract, and they can't get rid of Christian Brown because no one wants that shit. So it's a horrendous contract. It's one of many that they've given out. The Jamal Murray contract is a horrendous contract. Michael Porter Jr. was a horrendous contract. Zeke Nnaji's a horrendous contract. And Christian Brown's a horrendous contract. Again, horrendous contracts up and down that lineup for the last several years, Hans. It's just disgusting.
And they won't be able to fix it before Jokic is out of his prime.
Right.
By the time they clear up this, they probably will never fix the salary cap. But if they do, Jokic will be on the decline by that time, so it will be a moot point. They need to do drastic action this summer, or Jokic is done in Denver.
Agreed. All right, we've got Amos in next. What is up, my friend? Welcome back to the show. A regular, very much appreciated. And thank you for this very generous donation, sir. Thank you. Gary, go ahead with the question or comment from him.
Atrocious game 2 with Spurs OKC. Although Spurs could have taken care of the ball better, that officiating was absolutely diabolical work. Can't believe I'm saying the Knicks may get more rest for the finals. And in spite of that, we almost won the game. A game we had no business of even contending in.
Yeah, agreed. Gary, agreed. They were right there. They could have done some things differently down the stretch. If Harper didn't get hurt, it could have been different too. Yeah, I mean, with all that said, Amos, because I agree with all of it. The Spurs were right there, and I feel like you're right though. The Knicks, they could sweep if they get three. If they get game 3, hard as it may be, on the road in Cleveland. If they get it, they're going to sweep, and then they're going to get like a full week off. In fact, the NBA Finals basically are already set. They begin
June 3rd.
Correct you are, Gary. June 3rd, 8:30 p.m. ABC. So, I mean, if they sweep, they're going to get more than a week. They'll get like 9 days off or something like that. So, then look, the Knicks could have a viable look at making this thing really, really interesting. Okay. We've got next Ruthless Raider 78. And again, does MJ respect LeBron?
LeBron's the patience, 3.5 titles.
Ruthless Raider, of course not. Of course, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, of course they were too classy to say what they really think about LeBron on the record. Kobe didn't respect LeBron at all, and I don't think he wanted or appreciated having him in Los Angeles. And of course, Michael Jordan thinks LeBron James is an absolute joke for continually begging and pleading to be called the GOAT, while Jordan has never once uttered those words out loud to anyone on the record about himself. And obviously, he knows he is really the GOAT, but he's too classy to say it. So, no, Michael Jordan doesn't respect LeBron's stipation or his 3.5 rings or anything else about him for that matter. Go ahead, Gary.
You know, there's all this controversy about release the Epstein files. You know what files I want released? The text messages that are private between Jordan and Kobe talking about LeBron. That's what I want to see. And if LeBron read those, he would literally cry. Like, I don't mean just like he'd be a little sad. Literal tears would fall from his eyes if he read the things Jordan and Kobe were saying about him.
All right, next in is DGA1498. Would Pippen and Rodman be a top 75 player without Jordan? So this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, like the fact that people legacy build by winning against LeBron. Like if Steph Curry didn't have 4 rings, like if LeBron just beat Steph Curry in all those rings, first of all, LeBron would have like 8 rings and he would probably be considered the GOAT. And then Steph Curry would be like the 30th best player in NBA history, not like a fringe top 10 player. So like, I feel as if Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman certainly have enhanced their legacies by being on a team with Mike. Pippen would not look. Pippen's top 30 consensus, and he certainly wouldn't be that. I think he would be closer to 50. Scottie Pippen would be like closer to a 50 to 60 player overall if he didn't have all the rings, if he didn't play with Mike. Hell, if he didn't play with Mike and he didn't have all the rings, he might not even be top 70. He might not be top 70. I think he probably would with his skill set. I think he would be top 75. Rodman, probably not. He's a great defender, one of the best defenders in NBA history. He's in the Hall of Fame because of his defense. But, like, is Draymond Green a top 75 player even with 4 rings? No. So, like, I honestly don't know. Like, Rodman has, whatever, the 2 with the Bad Boys and the 3 with Jordan. So, but look, I mean, he was obviously a staple of those good teams and of those good defenses. But he also, like, people think like, oh, Dennis Rodman made Jordan's team a super team. He was 34 years old. He averaged 4.5 points per game the year that he came over. Like, yes, he led the league in rebounds. Yes, he's an elite defender still, even at 34, 35 years old. But he was in his mid-30s, and he's averaging 5 points per game. So, like, Would he be a top 75 player without Jordan? I think definitely not. Oh, look, we missed one. We hit this one, obviously.
Go back.
Kaluli,
I think that was
thank
a
you.
new one.
Thank you. Shout out for this one, Kaluli. But he said one last one, but then he came back with this other, again, very generous donation afterwards. So hopefully you are still on, my friend, because it has been a certainly prolific night for you, making it rain out here on the Skap Live After Dark stream like he's James Harden at a strip club tonight. Thank you very much, Gary. What's this most recent one?
Okay, Skap. Yes, I'm glad I'm not laid off. And the chat convinced me. I can make a case for Kobe being number one because of his skill versus Jordan's talent. Help me out. Also, chat, calm down. I have a great job, and I'm passing that on. Let me open this up real quick because I actually watched Jordan, I think, more than you, because I watched him in the late 80s and early 90s. And to Skap and I, a couple live streams ago, were debating, career-defining players and accomplishments and what really separates the elites from the greats. The thing about Jordan, the reason Kobe, I would never, and I probably like Kobe more than Jordan, but the reason I would never even consider Kobe on Jordan's level, the reason I consider Jordan the GOAT, I have never seen a player in my life move the way that he did in his prime. This dude, he was called Air Jordan for a reason. This dude literally would float in the air, hang in the air for like a second at a time, almost as if gravity didn't exist for a split second. I have never seen any player move like that, including Kobe. Kobe's got ups, but Kobe goes up, and as soon as he gets to his height, he comes back down. Jordan would jump up, and it was like he would just float for like a split second. He moved in a way I've never seen. So it's Jordan's domination and the eye test of his movements, which is why I consider him the GOAT. And I haven't seen anybody, and that's not even considering all his accomplishments. You can go to the stat sheet, which is just as impressive as any player in history, but say this young generation wants to say, well, look at the stat sheets. LeBron's stat sheet is better than Jordan's. First of all, you got to put in a context. Second of all, I don't care even if it is. LeBron never moved like Jordan did, and he never dominated like Jordan. And honestly, yes, Kobe was more dominant, much more dominant than LeBron, but he wasn't more dominant than Jordan. And that's why Kobe's not considered, this can't be considered the GOAT over Jordan for that reason.
So I think that situations do play a factor in the fact that Jordan is the GOAT and Kobe's not. And you, Gary, you kind of talked to some point of what he was asking. Talk about Kobe's skill versus Jordan's talent. Jordan was more physically dominant than Kobe. He was a far better athlete than Kobe. He was a better probably rim attacker, and he was a better point of attack defender, though Kobe was an elite on-ball defender too. But I'd say I give Jordan the check on individual defense just because of his physical dominance, his strength, and his athleticism and stuff. But Kobe was better at basically everything else than Michael Jordan. He just was. He's a better ball handler. He's a better shooter at every single level. He's a better difficult shot taker and maker than Jordan. And like Kobe was an elite scorer. In 2005, 2006, when he scored 35 points per game that year, in terms of the total volume of points that he scored, it's the 7th most points ever. The only 6 times that someone scored more than Kobe that year was 4 instances by Wilt Chamberlain in the 60s and 2 instances by Jordan, but in the 80s. Because in the 60s, scoring was 115 per game league wide. And in the 2 years Jordan scored more than Kobe in the 80s, it was 109 points per game. Kobe did 35 a night in a 96 point per game season in the 2005-2006 year. It is the best single scoring season ever, adjusted for era specific pacing and total scoring and stuff. So if you adjust it for pace and speed, Kobe's 05-06 best scoring season ever, better than any scoring season Jordan had. Kobe came into the league, unfortunately, with the Charlotte Hornets, and if he stayed there, I think he could have gotten even closer to Jordan, because he would have had his own team from the get-go. He could have started taking 20 shots a game from the time he was 18. He could have led the league in scoring 7, 8, 9 times. He could have dominated that putrid East that LeBron dominated, went to 9 finals in 15 years. That could have been Kobe with a team built specifically around him. Instead, Kobe came in and had to share with Shaq, had to temper his own offense for Shaq, had to think about integrating Shaq into offense and running the thing and winning playoff games and championships early on for 8 years. We didn't really see the full brunt and force of what Kobe Bryant could be till he was 8, 9 years into the NBA, really, when he took the handcuffs off and got his own team and was able to do that stuff. And then he did Jordan shit with Pau Gasol. Like, Kobe Bryant led the NBA in scoring 3 straight times in 08, 9, 10. He scored 600 points or more in those 3 playoffs. No one has ever done that ever in NBA history. Not even Jordan. Never scored 600 in 3 straight postseasons. Like, he was doing Jordan shit. Unfortunately, he didn't have the platform Jordan had. He didn't have his own team the whole time. He didn't have a team built around him like Jordan had. He didn't have the freedom and the flexibility and the range of offense that Jordan had from the get-go. And as a result, he's much less decorated in total league accomplishments as well. So, like, the accolades, the achievements, the accomplishment resume-wise is what I'm saying is the thing that distances Jordan. And slightly, he did get that second repeat, which I have to factor in. But Kobe very much is on the level of Michael Jordan, in my opinion. It is very close, actually, in my opinion. I think Kobe Bryant, and like I said, no, I did not see 80s and 90s Jordan. And I know that guy exists, and that's why he is the GOAT to me. But the Jordan I saw, which was still a very good Jordan, the 96, 97, 98 Jordan, is not as good as the Kobe peak that I saw. So, like, while I know Jordan wasn't peaked then, and his peak came earlier in the 90s, and he was better even than that second three-peat, and that distances him a bit over Kobe as well, it was close to me. And I think to Kaluale's point here, I think you can't, like, no one can actually, I don't think, put Kobe above Jordan or make a case, because Jordan won decisively not only the 6 rings, but he was the finals MVP for all 6 of them. And then he's got the 5 league MVPs. And in addition to that, his advanced analytics are also much, much better, which, like, Kobe is like in the 20s all time for some advanced analytics, and sometimes lower. Jordan has been surpassed now by Jokic in basically everything, but he's still second to everything to Jokic. So he's still very, very, very highly rated in terms of that. So, like, Jordan is the GOAT. Like, don't let me get it twisted. But Kobe is definitely very, very close in my estimation, Gary. Shea Superfan 69 is in. Go ahead and read this nonsense, Gary. Thank you, Shea Superfan 69, for coming in with a generous donation, and also for your outrageous comment that I'm sure is about to ensue here. Go ahead.
Okay, is this guy serious or is he trolling? Do you know? Are you familiar with him? Let me know in the chat. Are you serious or are you trolling? Because this sounds like he's trolling, but we'll see. Maybe he's serious. Shea is already easily. I can't even read. We're gonna take 20 minutes.
You know what, Gary? Let me read this one. Gary, yes, I'll read this one because
I can't do it. I can't get through.
I don't. First of all, I don't want you to have to to lower yourself to read this. And also, I'm not going to spend, quite frankly, I try to spend as much time as need be spent on these. Like, I don't blaze through them. Like, I typically want to give it a good shout out, give it its due, and to talk about it, regardless of what the level of the donation is or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Just the fact that you guys take the time to write it and are gracious enough to give me any kind of donation at all, I want to give it its due. But this one I'm not going to talk too much on because it's completely nonsensical, ridiculous, and there's no way I could talk about it, but it would take me like 4 hours of just ranting at the idiocy of this comment. But I'll read it, though. I want to read it at least. Shai has already easily passed Kobe and Jokic and is very, very close to passing MJ. Only guy he might not pass is LeBron. There's no valid argument against that. There is literally nothing but valid arguments against that. I've literally spent probably 200 to 300 minutes of video time in my tenure on this platform in arguing against all of that. So I can't spend too much time as we approach the 3-hour mark on this live stream. And again, it has been a very robust back-to-back travel day for me. So Skap's got to get to bed here shortly, but I'm going to continue to work through the remainder of these comments, guys, until we get to the end there. And next in is Amos. Welcome back in, my friend. Dylan Brooks and Wemby helped me realize I'm not hating to my full potential. That's a good point because Dylan Brooks is obviously up for the Hater of the Year award at the Haters Ball with Silky Johnson and Buck Nasty. But Wemby too. Like the Wemby Chet Holmgren hate is a hilarious story. Like it is so funny to me when I see the footage of them in that whatever under 16 or whatever under 18 international tournament where Wembanyama like clearly was the best player on the floor, clearly had the best game, but his team lost by like 1 or 2 points. Like France lost to the US by like 1 or 2 points, and they gave the MVP to Chet Holmgren with like 10 points, and Wembanyama was beside himself. If you see the footage of him on the court, like he could barely even stand on the court next to Holmgren as he gets the trophy. He is so utterly disgusted. And now this dude's a multi-millionaire. He's like the toast of the NBA, the belle of the ball. Like he's got the world in his hand and his fingertips now at this point. And he is still petty as hell over that MVP trophy at like 16. He still hates Chet Holmgren's guts over it. He's still, every time he's on the floor with him, is trying to punk him, show him up, and it is utterly incredible and awesome to see. So, Amos, I'm with you. Dylan Brooks is great. He's definitely up for Hater of the Year, but Wemby certainly is still in the mix. That's going to be a really loaded category this year in the 2026 Hater of the Year award. All right, Ruthless Raider 78. Is Shai greater than Kobe equal to Steven Seagal greater than Bruce Lee? It's funny that comes in like right on the heels of this one about Shai already passing Kobe. So yes, this would be a good analogy, but probably not far enough. Not close. It's not far enough, Ruthless Raider 78. Steven Seagal greater than Bruce Lee. Like, I'd say Steven Seagal, while vastly far away from Bruce Lee as an action star, Steven Seagal is actually closer to Bruce Lee than Shai is to Kobe. So I think that would actually not even be far enough. I'm trying to think of some like more ridiculous comparison. Maybe like, is Jonah Hill as an action star greater than Bruce Lee? Would be akin to Shai greater than Kobe, at least at this point. Look, maybe in like 5 to 7 more years, Shai gets like 5 championships. Even then, he won't be better than Kobe. He can never pass Kobe, quite frankly, or Jordan. But it will be closer then. It would be like a conversation, at least, that isn't insulting to Kobe Bryant. But for right now, it's like it's Jonah Hill, a greater action star than Bruce Lee. All right, we've got DGang1498 back in. Gary, I'll turn this one over to you. Thank you, DGang, for your continued support here. I do appreciate it.
better look, and I am not sure what emoji that is, blanked out or defense attorney Dylan. Rank Tony Allen, Bruce Bowen, Shane Battier, Scottie Pippen, and Ruben Patterson to contain SGA. Oh, those Tony and Bowen and Pippen would lock him down. No problem.
Yeah, so that's better look iced out or defense attorney Dylan. So the iced out outfit that he had on the sideline of that Lakers game, closeout game, when he was sitting under the basket, or when he had that ridiculous boxy jacket on after the game that one time, and he looked like a public defender. Definitely DGing. The answer is iced out Dylan is 100%. Ice is 100% better than public defense attorney Dylan Brooks. Okay, so basically I'm just ranking. Oh boy. They would all kind of lock down SGA, I think, but I would probably I'd probably say Pippen first would be the first guy that I would want. Then probably Bruce Bowen. Then Tony Allen. Then Shane Battier, then Ruben Patterson. That would be my order, going from best to least. But they're all elite defenders, and I think they would all lock SGA down for sure. The flops would be impossible, Gary. Shea might put himself through the basketball court flopping against those guys.
Didn't Kobe say Tony Allen was like the toughest defender he went against?
And Shane gave him fits too. Shane was a good defender on him too. And Ruben Patterson was the self-proclaimed Kobe stopper, if you remember. So Kobe ripped him to pieces in multiple occasions.
I remember.
But yes, Tony Allen was a beast. He was a stud. But Bruce
LeBron
Bowen
can testify to that.
Bruce Bowen, like defensive player of the year caliber. Scottie Pippen, defensive player of the year. I don't know. I think did Bowen win defensive player of the year once?
I'm not sure. I can check that out. I do remember, and Tony Allen sent LeBron James crying to the locker room in defeat in the playoffs. Do you remember that when he's with the Celtics?
So Bowen never won Depoy, but he finished fourth, second, and fourth in like 6 years straight. So, I mean, that's pretty good. And he was all defense 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight years. So pretty good. So really none of these guys won defensive player of the year to the best of my knowledge. Like Scottie Pippen didn't. He was obviously a very decorated defender, but never the Depoy one. The closest he finished, he has a 2 second place finishes. And then Tony Allen was a stud defender. He was such a gritty, hard-nosed defender. He finished 4th, 6th, 5th, 7th, and 8th defensive player of the year a couple times. So none of those guys actually ever won the Depoy, but all elite defenders nonetheless. All right, next is DJing again. Isaiah Joe flop was on a made 3 by the Spurs. It was just a wild flop. Like, if you guys haven't seen it, you got to go check it out. Isaiah Joe flop on Harrison Barnes. Okay, Jay Savage, my friend. Jay, back-to-back ones actually coming from Jay. If Jokic wins 4 rings and get a back-to-back in them 4 rings, where is he ranked? I mean, if I was 6'9" and 22 years old, like, could I play in the NBA? Like, this is an impossibility. Like, if I had $100 million, like, what could I do? Like, that, there is literally no reality on this earth where Jokic, who's going to be 32 years of age next year, is going to sniff 4 rings.
Unless he's traded.
He will be so lucky to get 1 more, to get 2. But if you want me to hypothetically say, if Jokic goes back-to-back and wins 4 rings, he's Mount Rushmore. Like, I don't know who I get off my Mount Rushmore, quite frankly. Maybe he's not Mount Rushmore then, quite frankly. I don't know who I can get off. He'd be 5th. He would pass. Akeem is 5th on my list. So right now I've got Elijah on 5. He would surpass Olajuwon at 5. And maybe I'd think about Duncan maybe. I've got Duncan at 4. Like if Jokic gets, you're saying if Jokic gets 4 rings right now, like with the Denver, look, if he gets traded and plays with like Luka or Cade Cunningham or something, then he probably doesn't pass Duncan. If he gets 4 on the Nuggets with whatever they trade Jamal Murray for, then he'd pass Duncan probably. So he'd be Mount Rushmore. He'd be in my top 4. If he gets 4 with the Nuggets. If he gets 4 otherwise somewhere else, even if they're with a jacked running mate, probably he's like 5th over Akeem. But it ain't going to happen, Jay. Dream on, my friend. Jay, welcome back in. I love the way you defend Jokic because for some reason he gets hate for no reason, and I found your channel because of LeBron choke videos. Yep, those are basically the things I'm most known for. Jokic defense, I will defend him till the ship goes down because he is, to me, he's right around 12th all-time right now already. Now, what does he do from here? Can he get another MVP? Probably not. The writers aren't going to give it to him. Can he get one more championship? If he gets one more championship to me, he's definitively top 10 because I got Akeem at 5 and Wilt somewhere. Wilt is the hardest guy to rank. And I go back and forth with him all the time. He's anywhere between 2 and 9 for me. Like I could see him at 2 or like 8 or 9. Like he's so hard to rank. But I've got Akeem and Wilt in my top 10 with 2. If Jokic gets one more, just one more ring, he's top 10. He bumps LeBron's 10th. He bumps LeBron out of my top 10 if Jokic gets one more. So I need to see a little bit more, but I will defend Jokic till the wheels fall off on that one. And then, yes, I will bury LeBron James all the way. I will continue to call out his ridiculous narcissism and insufferableness. And then the other thing, so those 2 things, and then, of course, Kobe Bryant defense are like, those are my 3 things that my channel is most known for. But I would like to expand that moving forward. Okay, Ruthless Raider 78 is back. How many chips would Lord Laturdomite win in the 90s? Well, Laturdomite would probably not have the freedom of movement and the player empowerment that he helped usher in the 2010s back in the 90s, which means he would have had to stay put where he was drafted. So unless he was drafted on a very good team with very good players, Laturdomite would likely have 0 rings or 1 maybe. I think he would have had 0 or 1 if he never left Cleveland. Maybe 2, maybe. Especially if he played 23 years, maybe 2. But he probably wouldn't have played that many years in the 90s because it was a much more unforgiving and physically demanding game back then. So likely he has 0 or 1 back in the 90s, Ruthless Raider. But good question. All right, we've got Amos back in yet again. Ruthless Raider also reminds me I'm not hating to my full potential. So we're throwing Ruthless Raider in 2, Amos. We've got Wemby, we've got Dylan Brooks, and now we've got Ruthless Raider 78. Congratulations, Ruthless Raider 78. You've made it with those 2 other guys, Buck Nasty and Silky Johnson, who are all eligible candidates for the Hater of the Year, which will be voted on later, probably maybe in the later summertime, I would think. Okay, Waffles. Gary, can you help me with this? Waffles and Cocaine. Waffles and Cocaine checks in next. What's up, Waffles and Cocaine? The funny handle. I wish I could see the picture completely. They say la bit. Can you help me with that, Gary? Is that LeBron?
La bitch. They say la bitch make his team better. Then tell me, why can't he make his son better?
Waffles and Cocaine. That is a good question. That's a good question. And sorry, I just didn't. You left the H off. It left me through hoop. But la bitch. That's a good question. He certainly hey, maybe he did make Bronny better. He scored. I think he upped his scoring average a little bit. He went from like 1.7 points to like 2.2 points or something in the playoffs. I think. Maybe I'm making that up. Hang on. Let me just check out Bronny's playoff stats real quick here. So Bronny James in his regular season career to this point, 2.7 points per game. Oh, only 1.2 in the playoffs. So he actually drops from a 2.7 point per game score in his regular season career to 1.2. So actually Pops is helping. He is performing just like LeBron. Worse as the games get more meaningful. Ruthless Raider 78.
I don't care how much you want to hate on Bronny. I'm getting tired of the hate on Bronny because I guarantee any of you send Bronny to the WNBA, he will average 8 points a game and 2 threes every game. I guarantee he would be like in the top 5 3-and-D players in the WNBA. And I don't want to hear any trash talk about him anymore.
Let me also just say this real quick because I saw a post on X that I really did agree with. It was some insane thing that LeBron was doing, some ridiculous garbage rap. He was like rapping or something on the street, and it was just so cringy and insufferable. And the X post was, can you imagine that Savannah James has had to deal with 2 decades plus of secondhand humiliation for this disgusting cringe behavior and somehow has raised 2 sons that seemingly exhibit none of it? So like, while we can kind of make fun of Bronny as a player, he does seem like a good kid.
Yeah,
and that is a credit to Savannah James, obviously.
Savannah, the MVP, like Durant said to his mom.
Right,
that's what LeBron said. Savannah, you the MVP. She should have got that mic and said, hey, I want my damn respect.
Right, exactly. So, all right, Ruthless Raider 78, Hater of the Year nominee is in next. Skap, I'm a fat, middle-aged man with little to no athletic ability. Should I pride myself on having the same amount of three-peats as King LaMudnugget? I think you should, Ruthless Raider 78. I mean, and also I think you'll fit right in the haters ball as a fat, middle-aged man with little to no athletic ability. Just dress nicely. That's all I ask. Put on your finest Kentucky Derby hat and outfit or suit for the haters ball later this summer. All right, next in we've got Waffles and Cocaine is back with a very generous donation. Thank you, Waffles and Cocaine. And actually, we'll do back to back. Go ahead, Gary. I'll turn this one over to you.
Kobe faced way more competition in the Western Conference than LeBron and Jordan. LOL. To me, Jordan is the GOAT, but Kobe had to go to hell just to get to the finals playing with Pau Gasol.
That's a good point that was not included in my previous case for Kobe or whatever. Kobe has played the most difficult playoff opponents in NBA history, and it's not close. It really isn't close. Like, he's played, I want to say 77% of his playoff opponents were like 86. 86% of Kobe Bryant's postseason opponents were 50-win teams or better. That is absurd. He has played the most 50-plus win teams of any player in NBA history. He has beaten the most 50-plus win teams in NBA history, and it isn't even remotely close. Way more than LeBron, way more than, yes, even Michael Jordan. So that is a great case because Kobe, look, yes, he had Shaq, but he had nothing else on that team but Shaq, and then he had not a very good second option at all. I love Pau Gasol, but he wasn't Scottie Pippen, and he wasn't Kyrie Irving or Dwayne Wade or Anthony Davis. So that's what Kobe had to beat these 50-win teams. Very good point, Waffles and Cocaine. So good that we'll run back with another question from Waffles and Cocaine. Shaking my head, bitch. Play more All-Stars and Hall of Famers and still couldn't reach 5 rings. Shanking my head, trash. 8 different guys that have made at least one All-Star designation 17 different times while playing on a LeBron James team. 17 different All-Stars. And yes, he hasn't played with many All-NBA designated players, but he has played with elite upper echelon guys who did make first-team All-NBAs and then play with LeBron in their primes. Dwayne Wade, Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic. All 3 of those guys, perennial, multiple first-team All-NBA selections at some point in their careers all played with LeBron James in his prime while they were in their prime. So, well, I guess LeBron's not in his prime playing with Luka now, but otherwise. And all of that to win a mere 3.5 rings in 23 years and counting. Outrageous waffles and cocaine. Okay, we've got Kaluli back in. I cannot believe, with yet another generous donation. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this outrageous night. I came in like $200 from you tonight. Just incredible. Appreciate you, and hopefully you are making a very nice paycheck at that job that you did not get laid off from today. Gary, do you want me to read this one to you? Is it to you? Okay. At Gary828, were there any years you can at least admit that Kobe was better than Jordan? For example, that poorly staffed two-peat. And I concede the point, Kobe is not more talented, but more skilled.
Sure. In 2002, when Jordan was on the Wizards, sure, Kobe was better at that point. I mean, sure, I'm not
Gary,
saying
I challenge you actually to find a video on my platform. I know you watch a lot of my stuff. I don't know if you saw it. I talk about the first time Mike and Kobe really played. Like when Kobe was, I want to say he was 19, and he played Jordan in United, and it was in 97, I want to say. So it was coming off of the 72-10 year, and the Bulls were going to win they were going to go on and win that year again, and then win the next year. So it was in the middle of the three-peat.
It was Kobe's rookie season.
Kobe had 33 points on Jordan in the United Center. And yes, Jordan had 36 on Kobe in that same game, and the Bulls won. But right. Kobe, 33 at 19 on Jordan. And in my video about it, I have highlights of it. Kobe was scoring on Jordan. He was doing fadeaways and shit on Jordan. He dunked on Jordan. He beat Jordan to the back door on one and dunked on. Like, Kobe was that dude from a very young age.
Jordan was a lot slower at that point too. He's at the end of his career. He was still winning chips at the end of his career.
He won the next year. It was all NBA defense. He was still all NBA defense that year. All NBA won the NBA championship. MVP. So I'm just saying. But Kobe wasn't prime either though. He was 19. He was a teenager. So
right, he was going to be fat. Like Iverson did the same thing to Jordan. He crossed him over and embarrassed him. So I'm saying you're not going to. Yes, Jordan may be defensive player of the year, but when you've got really fast guys on you who are really young, they're going to be able to juke you. I just don't think it's that. I don't think that's that big of a bruise on your resume just because you're older and slower, and this really fast guy is schooling you on a couple plays. But to your point, the Bulls won the game, and that's I like Kobe. Obviously, I'm just saying that. And my whole point was that when you take into totality, because Jordan and Kobe both had two different careers in one career. Mm-hmm. Jordan's first three-peat, if he retired and stayed retired, still a Hall of Famer. If he only had the second three-peat, a Hall of Famer. Yeah. Same with Kobe. Shaq and Kobe, Hall of Famer. Then back-to-back later on, Hall of Famer. They both had two careers in one career. My whole point, and we, you know what? Maybe this needs to be a debate we can have later on. But I'll just say this. Go and watch Jordan's highlights in the late 80s. You said he was that Kobe was a better ball handler. Do you remember that infamous play where he dribbled through his legs really fast on Larry Bird and then swished it? The meme? I don't recall seeing Kobe or many other people in history dribble like that. But that move alone was just showing you how insanely good Jordan. And they didn't beat the Celtics. I think they got swept because the Celtics are such a better team. And to your point, you're talking about, and I am not trying to diminish Kobe here. But you're talking about, well, Kobe had all these wins against 50-win teams. Great accomplishment. But you said that those teams, in spite of the record on paper, those teams were not better than the bad boy Pistons Jordan beat, the Charles Barkley, Kevin Johnson Suns, Sean Kemp, Gary Payton Sonics, Malone and Stockton Jazz. Maybe one or two of those teams Kobe beat were close, but even the Trailblazers in 92, the the Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter Trailblazers were great as well.
I mean, he beat Duncan a bunch in the playoffs. He beat the Duncan Spurs a bunch.
But I don't even know if the Duncan Spurs would have beat those teams either. He beat
the Celtics with Garnett and Rondo and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. I mean, I'm just saying he played good. He played good. The Western. Look, the same case that's made for LeBron against Jordan, that LeBron played harder competition in the finals than Jordan, which I don't agree with necessarily. I think it's close. I think you can make a case for Jordan. I made that case today. But I think the case that I make then, that even if LeBron's finals competition was better, Jordan's total playoff competition was so much better. Well, even if Jordan's finals competition was better than Kobe's total playoff competition was so much better than Jordan's, that I think that the total strength of the playoff competition from Kobe is better by a lot.
He had to go through actually in the 90s, the East was way better than it is now. It got watered down later on, but he had to go through those Knicks teams. The same team that Hakeem took to 7 in 94.
He also played a bunch of teams in the under 500 though as well. He played like 5 teams under 500 in the postseason. Kobe never did that, obviously.
We'll stick we'll bookmark this because this may be a good debate topic where we can really delve into this and break this down, because we can be here for 30 minutes talking about this, and we're going on 3:15. Yeah, you said, yep, 90 minutes. Yep, here we are, 73 super chats here, and we still got a fraction to go, so we will bookmark it. And thanks for the question, Dio. Kind of hard to really do this question justice on this quick, but to your point, Dio, I'm a big Kobe and Jordan fan, and when I was a kid, I hated Jordan. I rooted against him until, to your point, Jay, my enemy's enemy is my friend. I hated Karl Malone way worse, so I started cheering for Jordan against Karl Malone, and when he whooped the Jazz, then I became a Jordan fan, and I've been a Jordan fan ever since. Even though he's not one of my top favorites, he is, to me, the best player I've seen play with my eyes. I haven't seen anybody do that. The way you felt, you came on here, Wednesday night? You came on here Monday night. Was it Monday night, the Spurs? Dude, you came on here after the Spurs. You were fangirling for Victor Wembanyama. That's exactly what people were doing for Jordan, because people hadn't seen a basketball player do with their eyes what Jordan was doing. Well, likewise today, we haven't seen somebody do what Wembanyama's doing.
I mean, he's arguably, like I said, it's Kobe and Jokic are the best players I've seen this century. Wembanyama may outdo, he may eclipse, his ceiling could eclipse Jokic at this point.
I'm not saying he's
good at 22.
I'm not saying that he's necessarily better. I'm saying his unique physique and skill set, everything together. We haven't ever seen anything quite like this. We've seen similar things, like Ralph Sampson was similar. But you and I, for one, we didn't really watch a lot of Ralph Sampson, but we know about him. So that's a comp. But to my point, to your point, is that we haven't, the world's being taken by storm right now by Wembanyama, the same way we did in the 80s with Jordan. And it's amazing. And that's why I think they're going to make him the face of the league. And they're going to put the league on his back.
He's got the right personality too, Gary. He's
everything.
A well-spoken, introspective, intelligent guy. And like, he is an elite competitor. He's a good teammate. He is petty as hell and hates all of the other good players in the league.
Opponents.
So he is just like a great, perfect package. Yes. But yeah, we can expand on that conversation at some point. Definitely. All right, Waffles and Cocaine just wants us to know that YouTube will not allow him to put the H on LeBron. So okay, that's good to know.
I got you, Waffles. I knew what you meant.
This is a family show, obviously. This is a family-friendly show, obviously. All right, Boog got that beam. What if 2006 Kobe replaced KD on the 2017 Warriors? Well, they win the same championships, I think. They win the same championships, in my opinion. Just like if you replaced 2006 Kobe on the 2011, 12, 13, 14 Heat, I think they win all four of those. Like the LeBron went 2-2. I think 2006 26-year-old Kobe Bryant wins all four of those championships. So, I mean, that's why I say when I mentioned it earlier, Kobe overachieved to get his 5, I think. If you put him in the place of other greats that we've seen in this century, maybe with the exception of Tim Duncan, like, first of all, because he was a big and then there would be no bigs. So, but whatever. And plus, I respect Tim Duncan. But every other good elite player we've seen win championships in this era, I think Kobe wins the same or more if you replace, him with them. Vivid Sid 94 is in next. Go ahead, Gary.
Hi, I want to touch on the Kobe Jokic differences again. I respect both. It's not only two-way player, it's also 50-win teams beat, love for the game, etc.
So, yeah, so he's mentioned that, like, Kobe's an elite two-way player, Jokic is, and I like both players. And then, of course, all the 50-win teams Kobe beat, and Jokic has only beaten one 50-win team. Actually, more. He's beaten more like 3 if you count the COVID-affected year in the bubble. There was at least 1 or 2 teams that was on a 50-win pace if they played the full games. Yeah, I mean, look, guilty. That's why Kobe's number 2 on my list and Jokic is 12. Because Jokic is so individually dominant. He's arguably the most individually dominant peak we've seen, at least maybe this century. But he doesn't have the team success levels that you need to get higher than where I have him. He doesn't play great defense, but again, Steph Curry's right in that 12, 11, 10, 11, 12 range as well. He was not a good defender. Magic is in my top 10. He wasn't a good defender. But yeah, Jokic needs to get more. He needs to win at least one more to get top 10 if he wants to get top 10. I agree with that. I think it's hard to criticize Jokic because as little as Kobe had to work with, Jokic has had much less. He just played with his first All-Star ever this year in 11 years. And that All-Star shit himself in the playoffs, completely unraveled in the series against Minnesota, failed him completely. So it's hard for me to be overly critical of Jokic's failures in the playoffs because since he hit prime at 25, in the last 90 games he's played in the playoffs over that time, he's averaging like 30, 13, and 9 or something like that, or 29, 13, and 9 on 57% shooting. Like, it's hard for me to be critical of that. And he's elite in the clutch in those times. So it's like, what more do you want this guy to do? So that's why I'm not, but yes, there's a difference between what Kobe did. That's why Kobe's 2. Boog got that beam. 2020 Lakers versus 2010 Lakers. Who wins in a series? Well, I mean, the 2020 Lakers were significantly better as a team, significantly better. But I'm still not picking a LeBron-led team over a Kobe-led team. Are you out of your mind?
He would have shrunk. He would have shrunk against Kobe.
No, Kobe. I would pick Kobe in that 2010 series, or in a 2010 versus 2020. Like, it's Kobe all day. Kobe would have died on the court to beat LeBron James in a finals because of how little he respected him and because of how much it would have enhanced Kobe's own legacy. There's no way Kobe would have allowed himself to lose in an NBA Finals matchup against LeBron James. Waffles and Cocaine is back. Jordan swept the Orlando Magic team with Penny Hardaway and Shaq. LeBron could never. That's true. And that was a revenge series for Jordan because remember, Jordan was retired in 93-94. He then missed most of 94-95, came back with 18 games to go, played in the playoffs, won the first round, lost to the Magic in 6 against Penny and Shaq, and then came back the next year in the 72 win year. And that was a revenge series. Jordan swept them in the East Finals in that next season. So, and yes, you're right. LeBron could never. In fact, he couldn't even beat Dwight Howard and a bunch of role players on the Magic. All right, we've got Amos back in. Gary, I'll give you this one. Go ahead. Thank you, Amos, very much for your continued support. Gary, what's this one say from Amos?
Thing with Kobe's 50-win teams beaten versus Jordan is that MJ was head and shoulders above the rest during his dominance and was the guy to beat, whereas Kobe, not to mention LaFleur, weren't always such.
I mean, I see that is fair. That is a difference. Like Kobe was not even though I can make a case, Kobe was the best or the most valuable player on those Lakers runs with Shaq, at least in 01 and 02, not in 2000. But in 01 and 02, I can make a pretty compelling case. And I do believe that Kobe was the best player on that team and the most important player on that team. But he wasn't the undisputed guy, right? Like it was like a Kareem and Magic or a Curry and Durant. Whereas Jordan and Pippen, it was a substantial downgrade. Like you knew that Jordan was the alpha-centric son of which the whole Bulls solar system kind of rotated around him, and he was the guy, and they won and lost on him and on his shoulders alone. So like that is fair. Like that, like I think Kobe could have done that his whole career and could have been that if he was given the opportunity, but unfortunately he wasn't. That's why I actually hate the fact that he was traded to LA with Shaq. Like I hate that. I wish he stayed in Charlotte in the East and they build a team around him and he could have that opportunity to show that, because Kobe showed he could do that when he was like 30 and 31. Like what could he have done when he was peaked before all the injuries and all that stuff, when he was really in his physical prime, when he was like trying to coexist with Shaq. So like, I think Kobe showed flashes, but Jordan did it for a whole career. So I agree with, I do agree with that. All right. Waffles and Cocaine is in next. I am 38 years old and I was the biggest Iverson fan growing up. We hated Kobe because he put fear in us, and that he was going to be better than Jordan. So we're around the same age. You're a couple years younger than me, but we're around the same age. And I lived in Philly for a number of years. And I know that Iverson is like a deity in that city. He's like one of the most popular athletes in the entire history of Philadelphia. But yes, Kobe also, you guys in Philly generally hated Kobe because he was kind of a sellout, because he was born in Philly, went to Italy, came back, played high school ball in Philly, then went to LA and beat Philly in the NBA Finals in 2001. So Kobe then got booed in the All-Star game when he won the MVP in Philly. But yeah, I love AI. I've been meaning to do like a deeper video documentary thing on AI, because I am a big Allen Iverson fan, and he is a big Kobe fan. Actually, Iverson's one of the few defenders of Kobe now today. He's one of the few dudes that's still like, now wait a second. Like all this talk about LeBron and shit, like Kobe it's Jordan and then Kobe. That's it. That's the list. Like AI is one of these dudes. So much respect to AI, the answer. A big fan of his.
The only guys saying LeBron are guys who are associated with Clutch or are paid. Any of the old school guys who are honest, they'll say Kobe over LeBron all day.
Right. All right. Ruthless Raider 78 is in next. Does Zion go ahead, Gary? Gary wants this one.
Okay, this is ridiculous, Ruthless Raider. I've got to call you out on this. This is absolutely ridiculous. He says, does Zion dream of honey-covered Hot Pockets? Ruthless Raider, let me tell you something. Honey actually has some kind of nutritional value. No, Zion dreams of Hershey syrup covered Hot Pockets, not honey.
Maybe ranch.
I need to correct him.
Maybe ranch dressing covered Hot
Pockets. Ranch could be there.
Maybe
too.
Like a pepperoni and cheese Hot Pocket with doused in ranch dressing. That actually, other than the fact I don't eat meat, so no pepperoni, that sounds pretty good to me. A little pizza hot pocket with ranch dressing. I could go for that myself. Boog got that beam is in next. Thank you very much, sir, for your generous donation. Gary, what does Boog got that beam want to know or ask?
Do the 2016 Golden State Warriors still make it out west if they played the 2012 OKC in the first round, then the second round, 2014 Spurs, then the third round, they played the 2001 LA Lakers? I don't know if they'd get past the first or second round. I don't think they'd make it to the Lakers.
Of course they don't make it out of the West. And of course they don't beat really any of those teams. I don't think they beat any of those teams. They shouldn't have beat the 2016 Oklahoma City Thunder. They were down 3-1 in that series, getting absolutely bombarded in the first 4 games, dominated in 3 of the losses. And then Klay Thompson had that ridiculous fourth quarter that bailed them out in game 6. Otherwise, they would have lost. They wouldn't have made it out of the West in 2016. So no, I think all of those teams you listed beat them, all of them. Like I honestly don't think they were a very good regular season team, but they were not built for postseason success. They just weren't. Even before they lost in the finals. Like, so they had whatever, 73-9 in the regular season. They were 15-8 in the playoffs. So no, they don't beat any of those teams in my opinion, but good question nonetheless. All right. We've got back-to-back from Waffles and Cocaine now. Gary, go ahead. I'll give you these 2 from Waffles and Cocaine.
Kobe was always the best player on the 2000 Laker team. It's just Shaq was such a dominant player. Even Shaq 2000, 2001, too, was recorded saying Kobe is the best player in the world. I don't know if Shaq said that in 2000. It was I remember him saying it in 2001, game 1 of the West Finals against the Spurs.
Yeah, it's tough to make the case in 2000, even as a Kobe guy for me. He was a very important guy. He was a very important player. They don't win it without Kobe. Kobe was 2nd team All-NBA that year, 1st team All-NBA defense, averaged 20 points per game, led the NBA in clutch scoring in the playoffs. Not just the Lakers, led the NBA in clutch scoring in the playoffs that year. So they don't win that chip. The Pacers beat them in the finals without Kobe. Hell, the Blazers beat them in the West Finals without Kobe. Put any other player in the NBA on that team other than Kobe in that Western Conference Finals Game 7, and they lose in Game 7 to the Blazers. So they don't win that chip without Kobe. But Shaq was the guy in that one. But in 2001 and 2002, as dominant as Shaq was, Kobe was the best player, and to me, he was the most valuable player for those playoff runs. All right, Waffles and Cocaine actually just dropped another one. So 3 now in a row from Waffles and Cocaine. Gary, go ahead with this middle one.
The few players that actually played against LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe all says that Jordan and Kobe are better.
It's unanimous. I made a video about this. It's one of my favorite videos. It's one of my earliest videos. It's basically a testimonial of all these great players that say Kobe. Like Shaq played with Kobe and LeBron. Played with them both in their primes. He says Kobe. Like he's a pretty good authority, don't you think? An all-time great player that played with both of them in their peaks. Like Bruce Bowen played with Tim Duncan, played against LeBron, played against Kobe. He's got Jordan 1, Kobe 2. Like all of the players that played against both unanimously say Kobe. It is unanimous. So like, I don't honestly understand like where, Gary, I'll tell you what, I'm going to turn this over real quick to you. I'll be right back. Luna has to go out to the bathroom. I will be back in 1 second, guys. There's still a couple more comments we have to finish up. And then, damn it, I have to go to bed. It's been a very long day.
True. Shaq was great, but he wasn't the best defender on the Lakers. And he was a liability he absolutely was a liability at the free throw line. That was Shaq's biggest weakness. He could not shoot. Like there was a comment that someone pointed out earlier that Kobe had said, if Shaq had Kobe's work ethic, then he could have been considered a GOAT. while I understand why Kobe may say that, I don't think you could ever be the GOAT with a shot that bad. If he worked on his shot, well, maybe I guess that's what Kobe's saying, because if Shaq had Kobe's work ethic, he would have worked on his shot. And if he could have just got a decent mid-range and been a 70% free throw, 65, 70% free throw shooter, Shaq would have to be in that conversation, but Shaq was just lazy.
Yeah, Shaq was a very mediocre defender. And the fact that everyone talks shit on Jokic at this point for being bad at defense, like Shaq was made like 2 or 3 all NBA teams. Like that's it in his entire career. And they were with LA with basically when Kobe was the best perimeter defender or one of the 2 best perimeter defenders. So like he was point of attack on the best like ball handler basically every game. So that obviously helped the whoever was defending the paint, which was Shaq. And then obviously, yes, he was a liability on the free throw line, which is why Kobe was always pulling the trigger and clutch. He was always the guy with the ball in his hands. He was making the decisions. He was the one that was basically punching the ticket in winning time for the LA Lakers. For all those reasons, that's why, in my estimation, Kobe was the best and most important player on those Shaq teams. All right. Ruthless Raider back in again. And then Waffles and Cocaine follows up. Go ahead, Gary. I'll turn this over to you. One more second.
Yeah, and I can answer this, and then Skap can chime in. Was Kobe disappointed he never got to scorch the shit swirl in the finals? Absolutely 1,000,000%. Kobe wanted that smoke. He wanted to embarrass and humiliate LeBron and put that whole debate to bed. And you know why they couldn't play? Because LeBron couldn't hold up his end of the bargain. Kobe's like, I'm here waiting for you in the 2009 finals. Where are you at, LeBron? I'm back here in the 2010 finals. Where are you at, Bron? I'm here. I'm waiting to kick your ass, but you can't even make it to face me. So
Yeah.
how can Nick Wright say that LeBron was better when LeBron got his asses kicked by the 2 teams that, well, the 2009 team Kobe beat easily, and then the 2010 team Kobe went to war with, but came out on top, and LeBron couldn't even make it. So how the hell does Nick Wright say that LeBron's better than Kobe?
Yeah, it was the years were 09 and 10. LeBron won 62 games in 09. It was the best record in the NBA. And then 66 games in 10. It was the best record in the NBA. He was the league MVP. And Kobe, in my estimation, should have won at least one of those MVPs. He was the number 1 seed in the way harder West. He was the best player on the best team that was winning championships. Generally, historically speaking, that guy wins the MVP. He didn't get either of them. You know, he wanted to prove he was the real MVP, the real best player against LeBron in the finals, and LeBron just couldn't get it done. As the MVP with the home court advantage, lost in both of those series to the Magic and the Celtics, and Kobe won them both. So, yes, Kobe desperately wanted LeBron in the finals. And then he would have gotten him if the NBA didn't void that Chris Paul trade, because Kobe would have then had Chris Paul, and they would have played in 2011 more than likely. They would have played in 2012 more than likely, and LeBron would have lost back-to-back championships to Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavericks, and then Kobe Bryant and the LA Lakers and Chris Paul. But the NBA, to probably try to save LeBron's dwindling legacy at the time, voided that trade for Kobe and sent Paul to the other LA team instead. Okay, Waffles and Cocaine is back in again. Shaq made the statement at an award show in 2000. It's on YouTube, that Kobe was the best player. Okay, well, he's been saying Kobe is the best player then. He said Kobe was the best player in 2001 multiple times. He said in Sacramento in Game 4 that Kobe was the best player. When Kobe dropped 48 in an elimination game in Arco, he said Kobe was the best player in the world. And then Kobe opened up the next series, the West Finals, on the road in San Antonio with 45, and Shaq said, Kobe Bryant is my idol. So like I know for sure in 2001 he was saying, but I'll have to look into the award show comment. I mean, Kobe was a beast in clutch in 2000. He had a crazy amount of clutch points in the NBA playoffs in that run. So, I mean, I wouldn't discount what you're saying for sure. Okay, Waffles and Co continues to bombard us. Thank you so much, Waffles and Cocaine. I appreciate your funny handle and your continued support and generosity here for us tonight. It really is crazy how generous you guys have all been tonight with all these super chats. It's ridiculous. Shaq stayed in foul trouble because he was so bad on defense. I mean, Shaq, honestly, I do think he was overrated. Even in those Lakers runs, I think he was like kind of overrated defensively. Kobe was like the best defensive player on that team, in my estimation. And if like Shaq couldn't operate today, like the big thing with Shaq, like his biggest weakness of all was when a big was able to step out and handle the ball or get out and make shots or just move out of the paint and engage Shaq in pick and rolls. Like that was the big weakness that people back in the heyday of the Kobe Shaq Lakers would always try to do, draw him out from the basket and engage him in pick and rolls. Like that's all it is today. So like it would have been almost impossible for Shaq to exist in today's NBA world. At least defensively, he would dominate offensively. Like no one would be able to stop him offensively, but defensively, he would be a massive liability. Ruthless Raider 78 says, will y'all sacrifice more sleep if we keep roasting Ladung Bundle? I mean, there is a crazy amount of super chats that are still coming. It's just ridiculous. 89 super chats now from you guys. Just a crazy night of support and generosity from you guys. I really do appreciate it. But I am also dead. I've literally been on a crazy lack of sleep run here. These back-to-back travel days have me fried. I've got Whitlock at I got to be up by probably 8-ish to walk my dog. It's 2:30 a.m. right now where I'm at. Get up around 8 to walk my dog and then be on Whitlock probably around 11. And then I want to do 2 videos tomorrow too. So at some point I must get to bed, Ruthless Raider, as much as I do love roasting Ladung Bundle or whatever Ladung Bundle. Yes. Boog Got That Beam though is in next with, let's see here. No, Waffles and Cocaine has many more things coming up, but go ahead with Boog Got That Beam, Gary.
I think it's Bougie. Bougie got that beam.
Bougie got that beam.
I think so.
Bougie.
Yeah, I think so. Let me know in the chat, Bougie.
Go ahead, Boo. Go ahead.
We got you, Boo. How would SGA and the Thunder legacy look like if the Pacers won game? Oh my goodness, they would look like epic chokers if the Pacers won game 7 last year. Assuming Halliburton never gets hurt, what kind of videos would you have made if that actually did happen? Oh my goodness, you would never let SGA hear the end of it if they lost that game.
I think if they lost that game, SGA would not be the MVP this year. I don't think the NBA writers would have rewarded him with another lead. I don't care. It's regular season, but they incorporate postseason accomplishments and resumes and shit into it. So I think the Thunder look like epic losers if they lost that. They would have a lot more pressure right now in this series, and SGA would have one fewer league MVP. So those are probably, I don't even think they weren't going to give it to Wembanyama, or they weren't going to give it to Jokic anyway. Wembanyama likely would have won the MVP this year, I think, if SGA and the Thunder lost game 7 last year to the Pacers. But it would look a lot different. Boo, a lot. All right, Amos is back in again with yet another very generous donation here. Go ahead, Gary, with this latest one from him.
I've been subbed since your early days going out to LeBron, but I have to say shout out to the wife for supporting your work, Skap. I just know she'd be shaking her head when you crash out on your videos.
Yeah, she's been very supportive. She's just very supportive in general of me. I've been lucky to succeed in what I'm doing. And since undertaking this, it's been 3 years. It's been like a lot of work. It's been rewarding, and frustrating at times for sure. I crash out as much as I crash out on the videos. I crash out more not on the videos, which she definitely doesn't like. That's the only thing, the only part of it she doesn't like, is when I lose my temper about certain things or whatever. But I'm working on getting better at that. And overall, she has been very supportive. And now I'm doing pretty well with the things that I have that I'm working on the side and in the peripheral of this channel. So I have been rewarded with my hard work. So I'm lucky and fortunate. I'm thankful for being able to have a platform and a voice, thanks to you, all of you guys, obviously. So thank you very much for your continued support and kindness with not only your donations, but just your time, your engagement, and just being here during all the videos and in these live chats. It means a lot. Amos, and thank you individually for being with me from the early days. It's been a 3-year run that seems in times that it's like I can't believe it's been 3 years, and at other points it seems like I've been doing this for like 20 years. Okay, Waffles and Cocaine is back with a couple more things. Go ahead, Gary, with this latest one.
Speaking of the channel, be sure to hit subscribe if you have not done yet, and that thumbs up, as it helps with the algorithm. All right, Waffles is back. He says, what I love about Kobe, he always took on a challenge at defending the best players. Yes. LeBron always hid from that challenge. Yes, exactly. LeBitch guarded Draymond in the 3 finals against the Warriors. No heart. Absolutely.
Yeah, LeBron, that's one of the things that annoys me. But a lot of things annoy me about him. But like this ridiculous premise that he guards 1 through 5. Like, no, he doesn't. And LeBron is one of the most overrated defensive players. Like, he was all NBA defense for like 6 years in a row. I think he had 5 first-team designations and one second-team designation for 6 years in a row, and that's it. Never before, never after. Like the first 5 years in the league, he wasn't. And then he hasn't been since 29. 29 years old was the last time he was an all-NBA designated player. Kobe was like 33 years old, still all-NBA defense. Michael Jordan, in his age 34 year that he turned 35 in the middle of and won his 6th NBA championship, All-NBA 1, All-NBA defense 1, MVP 1, DPOY 4. Like, those guys were competing and defending balls out in their early mid-30s. Like, LeBron James just quit defending when he was 29 years old, and he's a liability defensively now. All right, Hillsborough is in next. He's an MJ fan, but Rodman for Purdue in 95 legit. Well, I mean, it was the necessary move. Like, again, everybody thinks that Jordan just won the championship every single year from 91 on. He didn't. He came back in 94, 95, and lost, like I said earlier, lost to Shaq and Penny in 6. And then Shaq got humiliated by Hakeem Olajuwon. What do you think would have happened to the Bulls in 94 and 95 if they got into the NBA Finals and played Hakeem Olajuwon? Probably they lose. So, like, that, I mean, they lost to Shaq, and Shaq wasn't even close to as good as Hakeem at that time. So they needed something else in the middle. Like, they needed another, like, someone to defend the rim better. And that's why they went out and got Rodman. And he for sure helped to ignite that second three-peat. And then look what happened when they added him. I mean, not 72 and 10, like the best, the zenith of that Jordan dynasty was that year that the first year that they added him. All right, Waffles and Cocaine in for one more here. Thank you very much. Waffles, you have come in with like 15 immediate rapid super chats here. So I thank you very much for your prolific super chat run here in the last like 45 minutes. I really do appreciate it. People disrespect Kobe by saying he had Shaq. I always said Shaq had Kobe. I mean, look at it. Shaq has been swept. Shaq and Pau Gasol have been swept the most times of any players in NBA history. They have each been swept 6 times. Shaq and Pau Gasol. And Kobe's been swept twice. So do the math. If Gasol and Shaq each have 6 and Kobe only has the 2, well, those 2 were getting swept a hell of a lot without Kobe. And Shaquille O'Neal, again, one of the more overrated careers to me. He still is a top 13 player because he just is. His total resume, he's got the 4 rings. You can't take him away. But he played with Penny, who was first team All NBA as a guard, as a 2. He played with Kobe, who was first team All NBA as a 2. He played with Wade, who was first team All NBA as a 2. So he had the best 2 in the NBA for his entire career until he reached older status. And then he played with prime MVP LeBron, with MVP Steve Nash, with the big 3 Boston Celtics. The fact that dude only has 4 rings is embarrassing. Kobe played with way worse teams without Shaq than Shaq played on without Kobe, and Kobe has more rings than Shaq. Of course, Kobe is exponentially greater than Shaq. That's why Shaq is 12, 13, 14, somewhere like that on my list, and Kobe's 2. Yes, Kobe was the driver, the main influencer of those rings, in my estimation. Definitely 01 and 02, in my opinion. But waffles and cocaine, thank you very much. And thank all of you very much. I simply have to go to bed. That is the last super chat. Don't send me any more. Thank you guys so much for your extreme kindness and generosity tonight. It has been a ridiculous. We didn't even have all that many people. We've had 1,700 people, 900 people, 800 people on in recent nights. We only had 4. I think we topped out 450 people here tonight, but still just a crazy night of you guys sending me super chats. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It is I'm very grateful for it. And to have you guys again, continually show up here for me and engage and interact on this. It's been very rewarding again, this year in the playoffs, just like last. Gary, thank you very much, as always, for another night here, and for your efforts. I'm going to let you guys go now. I got to get to bed and get some kind of sleep tonight. But I will be on. It's a promise. I'll be on tomorrow with Gary after the Spurs and Thunder game. We will be breaking that down, talking about all the elements of it and whatever direction you guys want to take it, obviously, as always. Until then, though, guys, have a great night. Have a great night and a great day tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.